handed to them by the Cubs, 12-1 going into the bottom or the top of the ninth inning there. So we'll see if they're able to mount a comeback, which I don't see as likely. Other games going on that we'll keep an eye on. The Blue Jays play host to the Rays. The Tigers and the Red Sox get together in Boston for a big series there. Guardians and Rangers in Cleveland getting that series underway as well. A note from the NFL. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels will miss his second consecutive game, and this time he's joined on the sideline by his receiver Terry McLaurin. Dan Quinn, their head coach, ruled out both players for this Sunday's game against the Falcons in Atlanta.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Friday to everybody out there on another beautiful day. Perfect day for baseball. Mariners begin the final homestand, the final series of the regular season. The LA Dodgers in town. We'll talk about that as we are coming to you live from T-Mobile Park. Also coming up in the show, our Friday guests include our buddy Paul Moyer. Charlie Furbush will join us. We'll speak with a Mariners player who's yet to be determined. We'll figure out who that's going to be. And you got the latest installment of the Raleigh Show coming up at 5 p.m. Also, mean texts. So if you want to get those in, you can get started with your creativity right now at 866-979-3776. You can weigh in on the Mariners, the Seahawks. We got you covered on all of it. But we'll start with the Seahawks, who it's an interesting game, Dave, in Arizona, as it always is. It looked really one-sided. It looked like they were going to blow the doors off this Cardinals team. Maybe some people went out, did something, ran an errand, came back and said, it's tied. What in the hell happened here? I mean, it was a tale of two halves, I guess, or a tale of 3 quarters and 1 quarter. Yeah,
I'm hoping that, that the NFC West plays out to be who we think it is. I mean, it's a really tough division. The one loss in the division was L.A. lost to the Eagles. And, and they had that game. And basically it was like a block kick. So, I'm hoping that's what it is. I was pretty impressed with Kyler Murray, just that he hung in there, because I think there's been some character issues with him, just mostly maturity. But he hung in there, and in the second half, even though people were booing him and Harrison, they found a connection. So, I really, honestly, before the game, I was like, this could be a blowout. And it was headed that way. But then they just kind of let him back in. So, yeah, there were some things to not like there. But on the road against an NFC West opponent, I thought it was a good, solid win.
Well, and it came down to this moment from one of your favorite positions, a place kicker. And he came through for him.
1 second's been put back on the clock, so 4 seconds left. 52-yarder. Myers from the left hash mark. Chris Stoll does the snapping. Michael Dixon puts it down. Jason Myers, the kick is on the way. And the kick is up. And the kick is good! And the Seahawks win the game! They beat NFC West foe, the Arizona Cardinals, on the final play of the game. And what a roar from the crowd. So many 12s here tonight, and Seattle saves this victory. 23-20 over the Arizona Cardinals.
I got to be honest, with the position of the booth, I was looking at the fans in the end zone. I was putting my binoculars on, whatever Seahawk fans were down in that end zone, because you just couldn't see from where we were. But I had a lot of faith in Jason Myers on that situation, and then also just getting him, an extra 4 or 5 yards with the run that they had. They got some time put back on the clock.
Which was kind of surprising. I thought they were going to pass the ball and try to pick up a chunk of yardage, and when they ran the ball, I'm like, oh, that was interesting. All right, I guess they're trying to get it on the hash that he wants and pick up a couple yards at the same time, I guess. But I want to put it in harm's way.
Yeah, no, exactly. You don't want to throw up an interception, but I mean, it would make sense. That's what I thought too. That it's an incomplete pass. It stops the clock. They had a timeout.
Yeah, that's why I thought sure pass.
But, yeah, it was kind of an interesting call. But I was listening to Mike this morning, Mike McDonald, talk about how, with the field goal kickers, every yard means something. So did they pick up 4 on that play?
I think so. I have
4
to go
or
back
5.
and look. So what was your level of cut? Because he had just missed a 53-yarder.
Yeah.
That wasn't very close.
I didn't think he was going to miss it.
This one kind of it started to bend right at the end. Yeah. I'm like, oh no, oh okay, it got through. It got like maybe if it were 2 yards back, it bends a little before it gets through the uprights there. I don't know, but
well, maybe that's a Charbonnet run away from a missed, missed field goal there. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. Afterwards, Jen Mueller went down and interviewed him, and all he did was talk about his miss. He's like, oh, yeah, I should have hit that other one. And I'm like, yeah, he's a tortured soul, man. I mean, he's only going to remember the bad ones.
Yeah, that's a pro athlete. Well, Sam Darnold, after the game, just talked about the level of trust they have in Jason Myers.
Yeah, that's J-My. I don't mean to keep bringing up golf, but I golfed with him this offseason. And, that's his mentality in golf, too. Like, he'll hit a bad shot, and, he'll come back and stripe at the next one. And so, he's got that mentality. He gets, pretty frustrated when he doesn't make them, but then he comes back and, it's almost automatic, when you know that he's going to go in and, knock the next one down.
That's J-My.
J-My.
You got to have faith in him. That's you got to pump that guy up and hey man, you're going to crush the next one and no worries here. That miss was huge because that turns it into a 2-score game, obviously. Right. So, yeah, the fact that they and we'll talk about it in a moment, but the drive back down the field, Sam Darnold was impressive. Again, another night where you look at the stat line, solid, not explosive, not whoa. Did you see these gaudy numbers he put up? Just getting it done, man. It was some really nice balls out there, especially when it mattered most. But Mike McDonald after the game just talked about the team's mindset during the fourth quarter and more specifically that final drive.
Yeah, I've been on teams where like the sky's falling and whatever, and for us it was just like, all right, hey, look, we're we're identifying the 2-minute situation, and AD and the guys are talking to the guys on the bench, and they're ready to go to overtime. They're talking about our overtime plan. It was just kind of like, hey, what's next? And Clint called some great plays. We had a great protection in that series. We were fortunate with the kick being not in the landing zone, and then Sam and Jax were just lights out and just a great job overall. Brian did a great job of managing the clock, and that's just how we roll.
Really, you could say it's another special team win. I mean, the special teams have been fantastic, and the other thing is just the couple of glaring plays, I guess maybe 3. I mean, where the Saints don't block a guy coming off the edge on a punt.
Yeah.
They don't kick the ball into the landing zone. That's ridiculous. And then not covering the kickoff that Holani recovered in the end zone. And, yeah, I mean, they've been getting it done.
Well, then the 95-yard return.
95-yard return, the 60-yard return from Derek Young that, 3 plays later we score.
Yeah, you're right. Special teams early have been absolutely huge for this team.
Well, and when you kick a field goal at the end of the game, and, nobody ever, it was a great special team win, but it's part of it, and they've just been solid. I had no question in my mind that J-My was going to make that kick.
Why do you think things changed so dramatically in the fourth? I mean, just in the second, you look at it, the Seahawks put up 2 touchdowns in the first half, had some mistakes, could have been more, right? Mm-hmm. Some self-inflicted wounds, if you will. Then they were held to just 3 field goals in the second half. Could have been more. Obviously, you had the miss. And then the Cardinals were the opposite. They put up 3 points in that first half. They put up 17. Yeah. So what was it? Just do you give more credit to what the Cardinals did to adjust? Or do you look at the Seahawks and go, well, this happened, you didn't execute, or you defensively you had a lapse here, or how do you view the disparity?
Yeah, I would say it's more the latter there, that you had a lapse here, a lapse there, and then I think Kyler Murray is different. I mean, I think last year, 2 years ago, he would have gone in the tank after that first half, and he continued to fight and then continued to try to get the ball to Harrison. I think his maturity is finally starting to kick in, and I think they're a pretty good team. We'll see at the end of the year where they're at, but
still not sold on him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want him to be this team's quarterback.
I wouldn't either. You know, it's funny. I was talking to somebody who I know to be a person that's hard to be won over, and he was going on and on about Sam Darnold, guy that's been with the franchise for a long time, and just about how he's just such a solid person and a solid character, and that, you know, he's cool and calm and tough and just everything you want out of a quarterback. So, and I think Sam Darnold hasn't really been, you know, featured. We haven't talked that much about him. He hasn't thrown up a bunch of like super impressive stats, but I'll tell you,
efficient.
Yeah, the drive where A.J. Barner caught that touchdown, he just ripped one right in the middle of a zone to JSN on the, and I think it was 2 plays later where he just puts the perfect amount of air under that ball, the touch pass to A.J. Barner. I mean, he can make every kind of throw. There was another throw he made to Rabes, and I were looking at this on the plane. He threw one that kind of was back shoulder on Bobo over the middle, but if he throws that anywhere else, it's going to get picked off.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I think, would have said, oh, well, he was off target on Bobo. I'm like, no, he threw it exactly. And Bobo did a great job of, you know, he's running one way and had to reach back to catch it. It's a good catch, but if he throws that ball anywhere else, it's a pick.
I wrote it in the notes last night. 2 of his incompletions were, I thought, 2 of his more impressive throws. The long one, the bomb to Horton, he put it right where it was just him. And the defender did a nice job, you know, getting in the way at the last second. But it was in stride, beautiful right there. It looked like he could have held on to the ball. I mean, it was just a beautifully thrown ball. It goes incomplete. And then the Arroyo in the end zone where he's got the lines right there. There's very little room. And he forced the pass interference on Budda Baker.
Right.
But that ball was 18-yard pass. Beautiful pass. They're both going complete. That one leads to a penalty. But those were ones I was like, oh, man, he put it exactly where it needed to be. Baker's got a hold of Arroyo's hands. Otherwise, he catches that. That's a touchdown.
Right.
And again, the bomb to Horton, which fell incomplete. He had it for a second. But, yeah, just he's impressed me. And he seems like he's really good throwing when he's rolling to his left.
Yeah.
Like, that's a strength of his. And he's just – I couldn't have been a bigger skeptic about him coming into the season. You and I talked a lot about it, and, you know, not saying he stinks, but I wasn't saying, hey, he's the guy from last year and he's cured and he's fixed. I was like, I don't know what we're getting with him. And each week I'm just getting closer and closer going, you know what? He's the guy. I feel good. I know what we're going to get out of him.
Well, and if we're talking about incompletions being some of his better passes, that's a good one, right?
I mean, to me, do you disagree with those?
No, I don't disagree with you. The other thing, you look back in the 49er game as well, there was a couple of drops. He was 70% completion last night. There was a couple of drops in that first game, and then I guess the spike counts as one. He didn't throw a lot of passes, but without those, he's an 80% completion percentage in that game, in the first game against the Niners. So, yeah, I mean, he's just very, like, sneaky good right now. Like I said, he hasn't had those big, you know, numbers of 350 and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, but he's just getting it done. And, you know, I really like what he's doing right now and what he brings to this team.
Well, you brought up his pass to A.J. Barner, 16-yard touchdown pass. Here's what that sounded like.
Charbonnet in the backfield. Darnold looking, he's going to throw for the corner of the end zone. He's got a man. Touchdown, Seahawks. It's A.J. Barner. The tight end just literally ran away from Akeem Davis Gaither, the linebacker, to the far side of the end zone. And as Sam Darnold has done so often this season already, an absolutely perfect throw, 16 yards. The Seahawks are on the board.
Yeah, great throw. He had another one, I think it was Cooper Kupp, where he threw it, I think he was rolling to his left. He threw it as defensive backs were converging, and it was like the doors closing and he jumped in the elevator. The ball got through right as the doors were closing, hit Cooper Kupp right in stride. It was just a beautiful ball. So, I don't know. I'm sure we got people texting in that are still skeptics and don't think he's been that good. I think he sort of belies the numbers, and his numbers certainly aren't bad by any stretch, but he's just made some really impressive throws.
Well, and I just love those kinds of throws because, you know, I think he has a general sense, well, probably more than that, as far as what the route's going to look like. But what he's seeing is the defense. on those throws. Like you said,
Yeah.
the door's closing, and, same thing with the back shoulder throw to Bobo. I mean, I've seen him do that a number of times. And look, there was the one, probably the worst thing that he's done is that interception in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that was a horrible throw.
That one was hard to kind of hard to figure out. He just missed it, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think it's not, again, not like he's putting up these huge numbers, but we're really not asking him to. I'll tell you one thing also that I kind of took away from that game. I think Charbonnet might be a better running back. I think he might be in this scheme, and then also just, and I like K9. Trust me, I mean, he made somebody miss in the backfield last night that was just ridiculous. But I see Charbonnet do that as well. Plus, he's got some power. I think he makes better decisions. But, I think they're pretty close right now. But
K9 was pretty impactful last night. I mean,
but
he had some nice run. We'll get into that. We'll get into the run game. One more from Sam Darnold here quickly on just what he was thinking when Arizona tied that game up.
Yeah, I think it was just, all right, here we go. I'm going to, get ready for 2-minute, warm up, and just treat it like practice. I think that's, at the end of the day, like when you get in those 2-minute situations, we run through those situations so much in practice. So, it's, at the end of the day, that's all I can do is just, be me. Our guys go out there and not do too much and just do whatever the play is called. And if we got to make an adjustment from there, we go from there.
Yeah, just matter of fact. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how I'm going to approach it. I love that just kind of calm, cool demeanor. Now, to the running game, as you were talking about, what we talked about if there was a downside to that Saints walloping where it was just, I mean, they blew them out. But the one thing you could look at is they just weren't very effective with the running attack. They ran it 33 times, I believe, in that game, but it was like for a total of 87 yards. They just didn't get much done, even though Walker had 2 touchdowns. They were both short yardage touchdowns. But what changed? Because last night, 35 carries, 155 yards combined in a touchdown. What was it the blocking? Was it, do you look at it and just say the Saints just have a better run defense than the Cardinals? How do you compare the two?
Yeah, I just think they're starting to get it. They're starting to – I still think they're figuring things out on their offensive line. I mean, I think there's 3 solid starters. And then I think there's a center and a right guard that are making decisions.
I was going to ask you, is it fair to say Bradford's been a little disappointing to this point? Because you and I have both championed him and talked about how he looked in the preseason and what he's capable of doing. And so far it feels like he's kind of been that guy we've seen throughout his career where he can look dominant on one play and then another play you're going, I don't know what he was doing there.
I don't know how else. I mean, what is that scene from Wedding Crashers? I never know what she's doing. Is that?
Oh yeah.
About his mom.
That's
that
Will
always.
Ferrell.
Whenever I watch the game film on the way home, I'm like that comes into my brain when I'm watching Anthony Bradford every once in a while. And I don't know, maybe they moved Sundell. It's not like Sundell's been bad. He had a couple of plays where he was looking for extra work downfield, hustling down, getting blocks, doing things kind of like Abe Lucas does, or you saw Charles Cross on the Charbonnet touchdown, that kind of extra work. So I think he's been just fine. But I don't know what they're going to do at that guard position. That'll be interesting. But I think that's part of it. Sometimes Ken Walker, I'll say this, sometimes I feel like he should just take what he has instead of trying to spin out of something. And
there was a lot of that last night.
Sometimes he goes backwards, but he's also one of those guys where every once in a while you go, no, don't do that. Oh, no, that was good. You go ahead. Yeah. But, I mean.
It's like the punt return. I think John said on the air, on that 95-yard punt return that he was like, no, what do you do? Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Good idea.
Yeah, well, he was at the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
And you're a rookie, but he made it work. But, yeah, I mean, I think the run game still has a lot of work there. I had a nightmare flashback on the 4th down play where we got in shotgun and ran a sideways read option play. Oh,
that was Charbonnet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came up short.
I bit my tongue really hard during the broadcast on that one. I was like, I thought we went that route.
We've seen this movie already.
That was year. But yeah. But other than that, man, it was good. And I thought, Kubiak came up with some good plays, and he's very creative. And I think that one will get ditched. But yeah, interesting to try to figure out what this run game is really all about. We don't really know yet.
Yeah, real quick before take two, Mike McDonald after the game breaking down what it is he likes about this run game.
I thought we took a stride here. I thought our coaches did a great job to get the things as the game started to progress. I know this. Our guys are fighting up there. They're blocking, and felt like we targeted things a little bit better. We'll look at some of those things where those like negative yard runs. But look, you got to give Arizona a lot of credit too. I mean, that's a really good front, great scheme. They play hard. They got great players. So some of those things are going to happen.
Yeah, if you want to watch just like brute strength, I mean, Calais Campbell, 39 years old, dude. I walked past him, and look, they're huge. We all know that, right? I walked past him on the field. I was like, oh my God, he looks like he's 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And then same
he gets
thing.
A couple extra inches with the cleats.
Yeah. Well, same thing with Big Cat. I mean, you see that guy. I saw him in the security line. I was looking up at him, going, my God, how does somebody block this guy? But if you want to, just pure strength and just on the field, those two guys, are battling it out to like who's the biggest monster. One of them.
They're both big monsters, man. All right, well, let's take two.
A few more teams in the American League can clinch playoff spots today, so it all hinges on the Astros. If they lose against the Angels, the Guardians with a win are in, and the winner of the Tigers-Red Sox, whoever wins that game today, is also in. And if we're on number one seed watch, going to be a little difficult for the Mariners. They have to make up 2 games in these final 3 over both the Yankees and the Blue Jays to get that number 1 seed.
I like the 2 seed. Stick with the 2 seed. I'd rather match up against the Guardians or the Tigers. They didn't do well against the Yankees or the Blue Jays for that matter, and I think they're both tougher outs personally. So
Detroit, that was like we took 2 of 3 there in Detroit.
Yeah, it beat Skubal, I believe, twice this season.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you're going to get him. I mean, he's a ridiculous talent, and maybe caught him at the right times. He might blow up in the postseason, and that becomes a really rough night. But if we're looking at it right now, I'm fine with the 2 seed. I like those matchups a little bit better, and then it'd be just delightful if the Astros didn't even make it. I would just be so happy for that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. What level? I mean, I know that, look, I know the Mariners making the playoffs is fantastic. It would just be a little cherry on top.
It would, icing on the cake.
Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin are out for their Commanders for their game against the Falcons, while Rams wide receiver Devontae Adams is questionable for their game against the Colts.
Well, let's hope the Colts stay hot, and Danny Dimes is out there looking like the MVP. Some people are saying he's trending towards, which is weird. That's kooky talk. But, yeah, go Colts. And then, Jaden Daniels. I like watching Jaden Daniels.
I know.
That's a bummer.
Ill-timed, as far as the injury there with Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, because I want to watch Red Zone this weekend. I want to see those 2 guys play. Yeah. And if we could just reposition the timing so that it's when we play the Washington Commanders, which I think that's in the first half of the season. Those 2 guys are dynamic and fun to watch.
All right, Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife, swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, it's the debate that will play out over these final 3 games. Rest starters or try to keep the momentum rolling before a week off. We'll get into that conversation next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
It's been 24 years since
the 2001 Western Division champions.
Mariners Nation, you've earned this banner.
There's no better feeling than this. We work so hard each day.
With a first-round bye in the bag, what's ahead for the AL West champion Mariners in the postseason?
It's a lot of great things ahead. I can feel it.
SeattleSports.com has the latest on the scenarios.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
This is where you hear your AL West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Another beautiful day out here in Seattle. Perfect riding weather. Love getting out on that motorcycle as often as possible while the weather is good. And a lot of you have checked in with me saying that exactly the same thing. And some of you have told me about some injuries you sustained, crashes you've been involved with. Obviously, hopefully, all of you are okay. But if you are somebody who has been injured in a motorcycle crash and you're speaking with law firms, don't settle for a firm that tells you they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. They've been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide, and they're there when you need them. You get into an accident, you're looking for answers, support, direction. You want to have somebody on the other end when you make that call, and they are there 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they need it most. And the Law Tigers are that resource that riders can count on when they're in need. Now, you see them at all the events, all of the shops, supporting all the clubs out there. Law Tigers are always by your side, and even better, your case evaluation is completely free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid, and they're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced because they know what that stuff means to you. So you never ride alone with the Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Sparta's Pizza reminds parents 460,000 children are reported missing in our country every year. Please plan with your kids a safe, visible route to and from activities with at least one friend. Coach your kids to stay alert and be aware of their surroundings, and caution your children to never accept gifts or rides from strangers. Best wishes to all our kids from the entire team at Sparta's Pizza and Spaghetti House, serving the best pizza in the universe in Linwood, Bothell, and Mill Creek, or find them online at spartaspizza.com.
Bump here for the Drive into Fall event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. The 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 HD are built to handle the toughest jobs with class-leading power, torque, and capability. And right now, qualified buyers can save big with $8,000 off MSRP. But hurry, this offer ends October 1st. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it! Oh!
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game Sunday, October 5th. Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds. Do it every day, September 23rd through September 29th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by 2 of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. Salt, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. A reminder, we do have mean text coming up today in the 5 o'clock hour, so go ahead and get creative with those at 866-979-3776. Take shots at Lefko. He's not here right now. He's down at the clubhouse, so let Lefko have it. How about that?
Well, Matt Nelson's not here either. And
yeah, he is.
Not really. I don't see him.
If you can't see him, he's not here.
Excuse me, Matt?
Only in spirit.
Okay.
So
Take some shots at Matt, too. Why not?
Lefko and Matt. So that's coming up. Again, 866-979-3776. Meanwhile, the Mariners have clinched the number 2 seed and a first-round bye in the playoffs. So what do you want to see from them over these final 3 games? Do you want to see them keep the foot on the gas? I think there's a fear that they're going to have a week off regardless. So you got 3 games left. We can all speculate as to how tired some of these guys are, how banged up some of these guys are. We certainly know about Wu. But, other guys are dealing with aches and pains and probably lingering injuries and just fatigue in general. So if you're going to miss a week anyway, I'm wondering if we're going to see some different lineups out there. Maybe we're going to see Raleigh out there and Rivas out there and some of the guys who aren't typically starting. Or do you want to see them just go, hey, pedal to the metal, keep it going through these 3 games, get that week off? I'm kind of torn. To me, you're going to get that week anyway. Get the rest. If somebody's really going to benefit and be crucial for you in the postseason, give them that time off if it's needed.
I'm not so much torn on this. I think this is a momentum team, right? And that they got on a roll there.
But your momentum's being interrupted either way. You're getting that essentially a week off after the final Dodger game on Sunday. You'll play the following Saturday.
I certainly wouldn't. You definitely. I wouldn't not give someone time off. If they need, physically to heal up, and that's to me is a no-brainer. You obviously take advantage of that, but. I don't know, man. It just seems like it's a team that's based on momentum. You look at the ridiculousness of this streak. If that one wasn't right in the middle, that last loss to Kansas City, you'd have 10. You'd be 10-game winning streak. So yeah, it's a great question.
Be an 18-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just meant if you moved it down because I'm looking at they're 9-1 of their last 10, but.
Yeah, can you imagine, though? Isn't that weird to think? They had that game in the bag. Bad night for Brash. Coughed it up. Frazier hits the home run.
Right.
They lose. If that didn't happen, they hold on to the lead. They win that game. You're talking 18 games. 18-game winning streak. Unbelievable.
Incredible.
But anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, I would try my hardest to not lose some of the mojo that you got going right now. But like you said, you're gonna have that break anyway. But I don't know. It's probably health. If you ask Cal, and whenever you ask a question like that, who needs time off, who needs rest, number 1, Cal, right?
I would think him. I would think some of these bullpen arms who you got multiple guys there that have pitched career high in appearances and innings. So maybe some of those guys could really use that rest. And again, you see these guys walking around the clubhouse with ice packs on various parts of their bodies, and they're dealing with things, how severe they are. Naylor, how much does his shoulder need rest? Right? It hasn't really cropped up recently, but you see him in there with the tape you see that athletic tape they put on there that's supposed to help. By the way, that's never helped me. When I've had a doctor put that on with my back, different areas, and it's I don't know. Maybe it's different for other people, but
maybe it's psychological.
Have you ever had that?
Yeah, it's like a real heavy tape that's supposed to almost replace like a muscle or
something
whatever.
like that. Yeah, and it just has never really helped me. But you see a lot of the athletes walking around with it in various areas. But whatever works for them. But this team has been ridiculous at home. They've been the best home team in baseball since the All-Star break. This is just they got their winning streak at home going. I can't imagine them being beaten here. It certainly can happen without question. But I think this stadium above a lot, and you hear it from Naylor, you hear it from people from the outside who come here and talk about this building with this fan base, and we're talking about a postseason game now. This place is going to be bananas, and I think it's a little bit different of a home field advantage. I really do. I think it is just a touch harder to win here than maybe a lot of other stadiums in Major League Baseball. And I've been to Chicago in the postseason, been to St. Louis, been to the Dodgers, been to L.A., living in those different cities, and they're certainly loud, and it's frenzied certainly, but the volume here, and we talked about how this city really takes pride in the amount of noise that they can make and how they're known for making that noise. Talk about Seahawks and everything else. They are just absolutely proud of the fact that they are known for the volume.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that makes up for it, right? That makes up for the adrenaline. And we talk to the Seahawks players all the time about, the fact that you can't hear out on the field and defense, but it's more than worth it because of the amount of adrenaline that you get from the crowd. And when you're out there, you can't help it. You're going to have the adrenaline flow, no question about it. Remember that in the Kingdom, and that's what these guys are going to get. And so, that's probably if you talk about interrupting their momentum or whatever, that's the one wild card that they have, is that this home crowd is going to be fired up and they're going to be screaming and yelling. And like I said, you can't go out there on the field with a uniform on and not get an adrenaline flow from this kind of a crowd.
Well, and this isn't just lip service, because we've had multiple different players bring that up unprompted. It was like, hey, what do you think of the crowd? I mean, Naylor brought it up unprompted when we talked to him. I've heard Emerson Hancock bring it up unprompted, and just talking about this building and, oh, my goodness, and, we felt it, and just the energy. And there's not a ticket to be had, by the way. They sold out in minutes. So this is going to be packed to the rafters, and this place is going to be shaking. I cannot wait for next weekend. I absolutely cannot wait, because I think it is going to be electric in here, and I really do. I think it's, having been in different parks during the postseason, this is a different advantage. I just truly believe that.
Well, and take it from Josh Naylor.
Yeah.
I mean, he said him and his family, and he noticed that right away. And again, he's a guy that doesn't, BS, right? He doesn't he's not pulling your leg. He's going to tell you very straightforward. And that's I think the one wild card that they have that other teams don't have. If you're a momentum team and it's like, we don't want to interrupt this, but nobody has a fan base like this.
Well, and I think they're so hungry. I think that's part of it, is that, the Yankees, the Dodgers, they're there a lot. Not, and those buildings will be loud. But I think there's a sense of, this isn't that new for us as a fan base. We were here last year. Yeah. We're here almost every year. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm yelling for my team, but there's a different element here, just because it just does not happen often for this team. 22 was the last time it happened, and then a long time, decades before that. So,
well, and I would say, just not to be negative, but just that there is some bitterness mixed in a little bit too, right?
Yeah, and it comes out in volume.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks' 50th season celebration game on October 5th. And all you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, very easy. Just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. You can enter every day to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, September 29th. Meanwhile, what happened to the Seahawks secondary at the end of the game last night? We're going to get into some of those details coming up next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
Watch live high school football. It's the Seattle Sports Game of the Week.
Going for it all. He's got a wide open man. Oh, touchdown, Spartans!
Week 4 pits the Skyline Spartans against the Bothell Cougars tonight at 7 p.m. Live from Pop Key Stadium.
Pressure, and he's taken down!
Watch the game exclusively on the Seattle Sports app, Seattle Sports on YouTube, and SeattleSports.com.
Comes up with a big INT.
See the full 2025 season schedule at SeattleSports.com/high school.
Well, Bob, you and I both know this. Honesty and integrity is what sets Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine apart. I've been working with Dr. Wagner for a couple years now, and he was straight with me. My right knee needs to be replaced, and he told me not all doctors will tell you that. And after hearing me talk about Dr. Wagner, you decided to go see him yourself, Bob.
Yeah, I was paying attention to you, Dave. I was listening.
You were listening,
I was listening,
Thank you.
yeah, and I heard you talk about his honesty.
rare.
I heard the success stories. I know it was a moment, but it was a good moment because I soaked in. I went in to see him, said, let me do this because I was looking at surgery on my hip, and I had a torn labrum, a frayed tendon, some arthritis developing, an inflamed bursa, all these things going on to where I couldn't find comfort laying on a couch, and we know how important that is. So he told me the same thing. I went in, he looked at the film, looked at everything, said, this isn't going to cure everything 100%, but it will go a very long way. And he was true to his word. I'm doing everything I could do prior to all of these injuries, and now the word surgery is just eliminated from my vocabulary.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, great to hear, and I'll say this, whether it's a shoulder, a hip like you had, Bob, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Maura Dooley here. It's time to recognize a woman in our sports community with the 2025 Women of Inspiration Award. The nominations are in, and the Seattle chapter of WHYS, which stands for Women in Sports and Events, needs your help selecting a winner. Voting is open now until September 26th at WOISeattle.org. The winner will receive a generous cash donation from WHYS and their partners for the cause of their choice. Help honor a local woman today. Vote by September 26th at WOISeattle.org.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter. To celebrate the start of football season, the guys at Harley Exteriors are offering no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, buy one window and get the second one 40% off. And take another $200 off your entire project. Call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or go to harleyexteriors.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Live from T-Mobile Park, it's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. The text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. You want to weigh in on the Mariners, you want to weigh in on the Seahawks, you want to send some mean texts, whatever you got, it's right there for you. And we'll speak with our guy, Paul Moyer, coming up at the top of the hour, get a read on the abandoned boys and how they're doing, how they're feeling. But looking at the Seahawks game from last night, Dave, we talked about sort of a tale of two halves, or really a tale of three quarters and then one quarter. But what was your overall, and we'll get into the secondary in a moment, but just overall defensively, how did you feel like they played?
I thought it was fine. I think it started off bad because, Kobe Bryant gets that interception, and then Tyrese Knight ends up trying to block somebody and knocks the ball out. That was a huge momentum shift, and I thought it was really, positive for Arizona. And, that was for us a chance to get a takeaway there. That one play right there was very deflating, I thought. But, they got the job done eventually. But I know we're going to get into talking about certain players, but Devin Witherspoon was not himself. He was not himself. I mean, he looked like it, but he just didn't have, and I didn't think Julian Love was either. Both guys, were banged up and didn't play last week. And I have to say, Julian Love is very close to Witherspoon as far as having that little burst where, kind of out of the corner of your eye, you see like a blur and you go, oh man, is that Spoon? Oh, it was Julian Love. And I didn't think he had that. And I didn't think that, Spoon gets beat for a touchdown, and then also
before that too.
Yeah, he had a missed tackle.
Yeah,
he never misses tackles. I don't ever remember, and it was a bad one where he had the angle and everything and just missed it. So
they just looked a little less explosive than
just
normal.
A little bit off, I thought, for those two guys.
Yeah, it was, and that's why I was going to ask you about that. I mean, obviously the final drive, it was glaring, with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Spoon matched up with each other, and Harrison, who's not been great, has not had a great start to a season. He certainly wasn't great in this game. Had a great drive and got the better of him there. So he certainly did not look like himself. And again, I guess you understand he's missed a couple of games now, and the idea that all of a sudden he's going to be back 100%, probably not realistic. And the same for Julian Love. Ernest Jones talks about, in his opinion, the guy came up with a nice interception, which was great to see, but talked about where, in his opinion, the defense can improve.
I think with all what they had, 20 points, we gave them. Penalties got them down there. So we knew we were stopping them. We just were sloppy. Things that we're going to go back, we're going to work on it, and we're going to get it fixed.
Something you kind of accept with a short turnaround Thursday night football. Do you sort of go, you know what, it's not – it feels like Thursday night football is generally not the cleanest game.
Yeah, on both sides.
Yeah, just not just the Seahawks. Just in general, you see a lot of mistakes, and maybe that's just the cost of doing business. You play on Sunday, you turn around, you're playing on Thursdays, and that's just what you live with. But do you kind of go into it with that idea?
Well, I mean, you can't really make that excuse just because the other team's going through the same thing, right?
Well, I didn't think the Cardinals were that clean. I didn't think they played a great game either.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, I don't. That part of it, I think it all evens out. So, but yeah, I mean, you're used to that your entire year, and I know that there's a lot of players that don't like the Thursday night football game and think it's ridiculous. It sure is a nice reward though over the weekend. You know? So, especially for the broadcasters,
you get to watch Red Zone and not move.
Yeah, and the other thing that was interesting, and this is a Mike McDonald thing. Drake Thomas out there on the field, and he was out there for snap number 1, I believe, and so that made him the starter. I think I looked on NFL GSIS and had him as the starter. Drake Thomas has been playing really well on special teams. And so I think this is a Mike McDonald thing. Like, if he's going to make plays in the open field, and a lot of times it's harder to cover a kick than it is to play defense. I mean, you got a big, wide open field, so Drake's making those kinds of plays. He is not a big guy. We had him on our show for, 3 minutes or 4 minutes? Because he came late, and I went out into the little lobby area and talked to him for a while, and he's like a 5'10" guy. Looks like he's about 230, and he just flies around the field, and he made some really good tackles. I don't know what that means about Tyrese Knight, though. I mean, I think there's been a couple of times where I watched him, and in particular last night, there was a play where he should have scraped outside a little bit further. He got kind of stuck inside and eventually gets pinned and gave up a pretty long run. So I don't know if maybe he's having assignment problems or whatever, but that's another one that you look at, that Tyrese Knight didn't play a great game. And, and I wouldn't say they had to rely on Drake Thomas, because I think Drake has earned the starting spot there. But yeah, I mean, it was well,
Tyrese is also another guy that's had kind of multiple injuries he's been dealing with. I don't know if that's impacting him at all, or if I'm just making an excuse for him.
Well, maybe it is, because he had some kind of medical problem before the year started. So yeah, I mean, it was and they're not divulging that or whatever, so I wonder if it could be that.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on. Look, the bottom line, they won, right?
Yeah.
On the road in a building that has not been kind to them over the years. So as soon as I couldn't help, but as soon as Myers missed that field goal, I'm like, yep, that's this building. Here we go, Arizona. Just
And I did a little video and sent it to our guy Trevor Bond, and and I brought it up to Pearson, and I was like, do you remember all the things that happened? He's like, yes, I'm well aware. And he's like, what's your point?
Why are you bringing this up?
I mean, it goes back to the Matt Hasselbeck trying to hand the ball to Sean, and Sean saw a blitzing linebacker and was like, I'm not going to take a hit there. And then we end up fumbling and losing the game. And then the 6-6 tie. And then the whole Legion of Boom got, coaches and GMs are getting flipped off from the field. Remember Marshawn flipped off Darrell Bevel and Earl Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that story about Tracy, his wife, John. Like, honey, I think that was meant for you. Yeah, so Earl Thomas, he did that. He got hurt there. I mean, there was lots of bad things. Will Dissly's another one. He stepped on a yard marker. He was having a dynamite rookie year. He was wearing out Chandler Jones, just wearing him out, to the point where he was like throwing punches at Dissly, and he was having just this great game. He blows his patellar tendon out there. Super Bowl 49, maybe the worst day of my life.
I see. We could leave that one off.
Yeah.
We can leave that one off. They overcame it last night. They come away with a win, and we'll find out if the abandoned boys are so happy over the Mariners that they let Wyman back into the chat group. We're not sure. Paul Moyer is going to join us next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
He's already past the likes of Bench, Mantle, and of course, Junior.
Holy smokes, where is this going to land? Upper deck, right field.
Look out, babe.
Here comes Cal Raleigh.
Countdown, 3, 2, 1.
Swing and a drive, deep to right field. There it is, number 60, the modern-day Bambino.
This is where you hear every...
Gone! Cal Raleigh!
the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Swedish Cyberknife, and September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. On average, 1 in 8 men in the U.S. will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during their lifetime, and many treatments are available, especially locally, but I recently spoke with someone who underwent treatment for prostate cancer back in February. Tim Hunter, a lifelong local radio host, and Tim underwent Swedish Cyberknife treatment the week right after the Super Bowl, and it was literally a week. All it took was 5 days in a row, with each session lasting less than an hour. And he chose Swedish Cyberknife because it was only 5 days of treatment versus several months with other treatments. And on top of that, Swedish Cyberknife had by far the least interruption to his daily life. No surgery, no catheter, and the recovery was incredibly quick. Tim heard about the Cyberknife treatment from our radio commercials right here on this show, just like you're hearing right now. So if you, a friend, or a family member is diagnosed with prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. And remember, you don't need a physician's referral. Again, that's swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners getting ready for the final 3 games of their regular season. The LA Dodgers are in town for a 3-game series. The Mariners will send George Kirby to the hill in Game 1. You can catch it all starting right here at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch. Seattle Sports on 710. One final in the books today. The Cubs hammer the Cardinals 12-1. In Chicago. Still to come, games we'll keep an eye on. The A's play host to the Royals. You've got the Texas Rangers on the road facing off against the Guardians. Also, the Tigers and the Red Sox get together in Boston. The Yankees play host to the Orioles, and the Blue Jays and Rays get together in Toronto. One note from the NFL. 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy will be back starting for the team as they face off against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. He's missed the past 2 games because of a toe injury, but he's practiced all 3 days this week, does not have an injury designation going into the Sunday game against the Jags.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
This is the moment many wait for.
The most entertaining.
A man of wisdom, a man of experience, Dave.
The most informative.
To bring light to a dark subject. To bring positivity to a negative world.
The incredible Paul Moyer.
Moyer out.
He's here, everybody. You look forward to the conversation each and every week. We get a chance to sit down with one of our buddies on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is the one, the only Paul Moyer here with us. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on. It's been quite the week.
It's been a great week, and I saw you in the press box, in the Seahawks press box for the Saints game, and I told you, you know, it looked like you were on your way to a very, very accurate prediction. And for those of you that may not have caught this was Paul's prediction going into that crucial series in Houston against the Astros.
They win this game, man. I think it's game over. I think we run the table on these guys because I think this is such a confidence game. This first one on Friday here.
You're calling for a sweep if they win Game 1?
I for sure 2 of 3, maybe a sweep. I do. This game
you said
is
run the table.
So
I thought that meant
important.
sweep.
Yeah, let's go sweep. Let's go ahead.
Okay.
You know what they say? They say having a strong opinion. We'll sweep them if we win this first one.
There we go,
Bob. How many more times are we going to have to play this clip? I mean, is it going to be for like the next 5 times we have Moyer on? Does it go into 2026?
I told him in the press box we would celebrate his courage in making such a prediction that I kind of shoved him into a little bit there. But he made the prediction, he put his name on it, and it came true, Paul. So good on you.
You know, I really did think it was more of a confidence. You know, you got to finally beat the champion, and I felt we were a better team. I think everybody felt we were a better team. It was just getting over the hump of that. And we talked about how we pushed that big, huge rock up the hill so many times just for it to come all the way back down the hill. And we got to do it again. And we finally shoved it over. And now we really shoved it over. I mean, we're going to be the number 2 seed. I don't think we're going to get the number 1 seed. I mean, the Yankees in Toronto would just have to collapse here this weekend. I don't see that happening. But it's exciting. I mean, and God, man, you know, I'm happy for us. You know, we do this show every day. I'm happy for Band and Boys, Seattle, that we're going to host a home series. I mean, it's been a long time, you know, for us to have a couple of games, in particular to start the playoff series. So, well done. I mean, just really happy. And I was at the Tuesday game, guys. So I'm gonna throw myself under the bus here. I'm at the Tuesday game with my wife and 2 friends. And I didn't know we could clinch it. I thought our magic number was 3, but I didn't realize because of the teams playing each other that winning that night would actually clinch it. And then all of a sudden it started reverberating throughout the crowd and people started getting into it. And we're down 3-1. And I light rail it from my office in downtown Seattle because Parkins' a zoo down there, and the game's almost sold out. And it's the bottom of the 7th inning. And I look at my friends and my wife. I go, what do you guys want to do? We're down 3-1. I go, why don't we just get up and start walking? We'll see what happens. And we decide to leave so we don't have to wait an hour for the light rail to take us back, 2 stops to downtown Seattle. And I missed the greatest game comeback. Yes. I mean,
Paul.
I got to watch the replays. But in my seats, you guys, my season seats for my company, there are 13 rows right on the first base dugout. I mean, we're right there. And everything's happening there. And I'm kind of crushed. But you know what? The game's taped, so I pretend like I was there for the finals.
Yeah. It's weird. Paul said he went with a couple of friends. I didn't get a call. I never got a call.
You're a friend, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought so.
Well, Dave, you're always there. I mean, I've never got a call from you, Dave, with all your connections.
Okay, let's change the subject. Let's change the subject here. Hey, are you tired of the MVP, AL MVP discussion? I mean, it seems like it's kind of heating up, and I feel like it is going the way towards Cal. I mean, isn't there some scenario where they can say, let's do co-MVPs? I mean, I guess
it happened once in '79.
It's just a matter of,
I believe,
if it's 30 voters.
30 voters.
If you get 15, there you go. But I don't know. Anything new from that discussion that we've already talked about, Paul, that's kind of struck you?
No, look, this is like politics. It's like religion. I'm listening to the people in New York, and as you guys know, we're living rent free in their heads right now because they are going ballistic. This makes no sense to me. I get Judge is the best all around hitter. I get it. The OPS is great, but that's it. That's it. He doesn't have more home runs. He doesn't have more RBIs. He doesn't play more in the field. He's not a better outfielder. I just saw an ex post, and I thought this was fantastic. And it showed that I think the WAR for Judge is 9.91 or whatever it may be. The next best right fielder's WAR is like 6 and change, right? So he's not twice as good as or 100% better than the next best right fielder. You go look at Cal Raleigh's, and his is 8+. The next best catcher's WAR is 4. I mean, he's so much superior to the next best catcher in the league. He's beaten Mickey Mantle's record. He's tied Babe Ruth. This makes no sense to me. It's not a good argument because this is the MVP, the most valuable player. And without Cal, we're not where we are. And without Judge, they're still in the playoffs. That's the facts. And so I don't get it. He should be offensive player. But it is fun to watch it on Twitter. And it did. It really made me go, oh, that's a Democrat and that's a Republican there. And I won't say which one's which. But it's really funny. They just completely disagree.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I was right. It was 79. The first and only Major League Baseball regular season co-MVPs were Willie Stargell of the Pirates and Keith Hernandez of the Cardinals, who tied in the 1979 National League MVP voting. So both players received the same number of points from voters. You can go through the numbers of each one and all that. But so there is a moment where it happened. There is precedent for it to happen, but it's only ever happened one time. And I don't know, how these 15 voters these 30, and if you get 15 and 15, it's going to be interesting. But, how much value will they put on the case that I feel like the national media, Paul, has started to really lean into the case for Cal in terms of here's what he does behind the plate. He's not just catching the ball. He's working with these guys. He's nursing them through nursing these guys through a game when they're struggling, whether it's the starter, whether it's the bullpen. And his focus going into a game is not on just hitting, but it's about scouting reports and talking to these pitchers about every hitter that's in that opposing lineup. And and obviously everything he does to block balls and the beating he takes back there, blah, blah, blah. So I'm starting to see that conversation much more frequently on MLB Network, on ESPN, and not just here locally. So maybe that's a good trend. Maybe that's a good sign.
I hope so. And you're right. I think Major League Baseball has really done a good job of trying to promote Cal. And it's tough. I mean, this is a popularity contest. We already know it. It's the writers. And the writers have their little whatever. I mean, they got their little fraternity, the way they vote on things for the Hall of Fame and this. But what Cal has done is historical. I mean, what Judge is doing is not historical. And by the way, Cal's back there while he's behind home plate, and he gets hit in the thigh, and then he gets hit in the foot, and he gets hit in the shoulder, and he sits there. By the way, I did a HIT program. I do HIT 3 times a week where you get your heart rate as high as you can. You let it come down for about 30 seconds. You get it as high as you can, and I always start with squats. Okay, Cal does that every day, and then gets up and hits bombs, right? And so he's beat Mickey Mantle. I mean, he's a legend. He broke a historical record. He just tied Babe Ruth for 60 home runs. I mean, without steroids. It's amazing what he's done. And so I don't get the argument on it. I just think what Cal has done when he's behind home plate, taking foul balls off his chest, sitting in a squat position while Judge is in the dugout getting a massage before he goes up, before he gets to go hit.
Is that what's happening there?
I don't understand the comparison. I mean, really, he's in right field for 2/3 of the games. Right field's not a demanding position. And then the other times he's DHing. It's mind-boggling to me. But it's a popularity contest. I really don't care. What I care about is when we do play the Yankees, we thump them. And, look, it'd be nice if Cal hit 63 so we can just put the stake in it and say, back off, New York. Back off, East Coast. The West Coast won this one.
Well, it'd be beautiful because that's Judge's record he would break.
Right. Absolutely.
62 home run, the American League record. So, if he's able to somehow hit 3 home runs in these final 3 games and he is now the record holder, surpassing Judge, that would be pretty apropos. It's a big ask, but that would be
amazing.
It seems like it would make it undeniable.
Well, I think the word you used, Paul, historical. I mean, that's a great argument there because there's nothing really historical about what Aaron Judge is doing, right? So, I like that. I like that argument. There we go.
Okay, There we go. Let's post it out there. Let's get it out to the media.
Settled.
Okay, we can do that.
Oh, it's out there. It's out there. Last night in Arizona, Paul, looked like it was going to be a blowout there for a while, and then they made it interesting. What did you think overall of the performance? Did you see some sloppiness out there? And what stood out to you the most in last night's game?
Yeah, one thing, Dave, that's really stood out to me is we've gotten better every single week. We should have beat the 49ers. I think maybe a little bit too conservative a game plan. Certainly didn't make plays at the end of the game, which cost us. Go in, we played Pittsburgh, played a little bit better, played New Orleans a little bit better, and then we dominated that game. We dominated that game, both sides of the ball. It took a fourth quarter for really Arizona to throw any kind of statistics offensively on there. So I think we're getting better. I think the big one is, look, it's the NFL. We know that the games are going to come down to the fourth quarter. They always do. I don't say always, but they usually do, and it usually comes down to the final 2 minutes. I thought it was a big boost for the Hawks to go, okay, Sam Darnold's legit. I mean, this guy, he's so much better, you guys. I thought he was going to be. The throws he made, and some of them are little go unnoticed, but today with social media and everybody breaking the films down, you get to see him more. That third down, and I think it was 3rd down and 4, 3rd down and 5, the one JSN runs the speed cut to the left sideline. That ball was thrown so perfect. It was thrown it was a dart. I mean, it was a laser shot, and it was thrown to the outside shoulder for JSN. I'm telling you, the quarterback we had last year can't make that throw. The one he threw to Arroyo when he was kind of slid to his left and was running to his left, and he flicked that ball. He didn't really step into it, but he flicked it with his wrist. And it was I don't even know the degree of difficulty on that throw. It would have been a touchdown if they didn't interfere with them. An incredible throw. And then obviously the double move that JSN did on the right sideline, that was a spectacular throw. He's making all the throws. So guess what? We have a quarterback. And I think what that did more than anything was for this team to realize we're better than San Francisco. We're better than Arizona. And next time we play them, we're going to kick the crap out of them. We're going to kick the crap out of them in the score, not just physically. And I just think this team's continued to build momentum. I'm really excited we got 10 days off because they got stuff to work on. It's not perfect, but we're a good football team.
Yeah, I agree with you on Darnold. I was telling Dave that I was his biggest skeptic coming into this season. Like, all right, I don't know what we're going to get. And he's each week has done something within the game that I'm going, wow, okay. I like what I'm seeing, and that included last night. And two or three passes that stood out to me were incompletions, Paul, and you touched on one of them, the one to Arroyo in the end zone that they forced Budda Baker into a pass interference. That was a beautiful throw with him rolling to his left, and he seems really, really good at throwing the ball when he's rolling to his left. He had that early incompletion, I believe it was in the first quarter, a long bomb to Torrey Horton. And it was incomplete. It hit Horton in the hands, and the defender made a pretty decent play on the ball as well. But it was that was the only spot he could have put it. It seemed, and it hit him in stride, incomplete, a beautiful ball. And then there was one to Cooper Kupp where I was telling David it was like elevator doors closing, and you jump in right before they close. You had two defenders breaking on the ball, and the ball goes right between the two of them, right into Cooper Kupp's gut in stride. And I was like, wow, okay. Those three, and he made other great passes, but I'm with you. There were, I was impressed by two of them that weren't even completions, and he's just each week winning me over just a little bit more.
Yeah, there was a half dozen throws that what I call contested, really tight window throws, and then for him to take us down and win the game, that's why you pay quarterbacks the big dollars, and that's why we got Sam Darnold. I didn't know he was capable of some of it. I mean, I knew he had the arm. Sometimes you don't know until you get him yourself, but this guy's trajectory just keeps going up and up and up. Very confident. You go how he's checked and got us out of certain plays too. The nice thing about having all the end zone film stuff now you can see what he's trying to get done. And the one you mentioned on how the elevator doors were closing, he's done that a couple of times in the first four games. And one time I go, ooh, that's a little risky. And I go, but he's when he wants to really add some juice, he throws at 97, 98 consistently. But every once in a while when he wants to, he gets it up to 101. And so he's got a second gear. And so I've seen it now 3 or 4 times, those elevator doors closing. And I'm like, oh, but no one's touched the ball. So he has a sense for when he's got to, get that 101 speed into there. So, look, he's got great touch. The other thing is when he needs to take off and run, he's mobile. He can hurt you with his legs. And his decision-making when to run is good. Last year there were times you're going, hey, there's green there, go. The one he threw to Arroyo down the right sideline when he was covered by sweat, again on the right sideline towards Arizona's bench, there was a lot of green there, but he knew the mismatch on that. He doesn't cover guys. And you got Arroyo, who's a great athlete. So, again, these are the little things that people go, oh, he's lucky. I go, no, it's just a great decision there. I couldn't be happier. He's playing, obviously, extremely high level. Offensive line, still a work in progress at times, but it's getting better every week, particularly in the run game. And I love what Coach Kubiak's doing also. He's going, look, we've got toss. We've got outside zone. And then all of a sudden you got the pin and pull, block down, pull a guy around. And he's just keeping the defense thinking about everything. And now we've added more play action to it. So you go look at all the experts, smarter than I am on offensive side, guys who I respect, and you go watch on the X and how they break film down. They're really impressed with what we're doing offensively and just how we're stacking plays.
Hey, Paul, the guy that is wearing your number, Devin Witherspoon out there missing, having missed, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
So, and then, and also Julian Love, I thought, just maybe getting back. What did you see out of those two? Because Spoon, there was just some plays he didn't make that he still looks fast, but he just didn't have that extra gear, it looked like to me. But what did you think of him and Julian Love's play?
Yeah, I think the one play you're talking about, the touchdown to Benson, I think it was to Benson. And was it Benson when he was a crossing route? I might be wrong on that. The one into the flat. The other one's Harrison, but the one to the flat, I can't remember who the player was. But he should have seen it sooner. And because he saw it late, he was already outflanked. And, in this league, you can be super fast. Well, they're fast too, So if you're a step behind and you're only a half a step faster, you don't make that play. And so he got to the guy, didn't make the tackle, and he ended up getting into the end zone. The one on Harrison, I didn't like the technique he used when he was up in jam because he let him really take the wide release. And Harrison's big, so you got to get your hands in his chest. But he played it well. I mean, it was just a really good throw. Harrison obviously is a top draft pick for a reason. He's tall. He can go up and make plays. That's where his strength is, down the goal line. I just think have a little more awareness. This is what they're going to do. They're not going to put him on a crossing route. We've already seen him drop too many, and he hears footsteps. So down there, you got to know they want to just put him to the sideline and make it a jump ball. But he was there. I mean, it was a better throw, better catch. Outside of that, again, I thought he was active. He was moving around. Julian Love, you know how I love him. He made some big hits. So yeah, I'm good. You find ways to win in the fourth quarter in the final 2 minutes, and that was important for us because of the first game against the 49ers.
Paul, real quick before the break here, just give me your thoughts on what you've seen from the center and right guard position to this point.
Well, I like the center. The right guard needs, and I haven't studied yesterday, so I'm going off a little bit before yesterday. Look, he's got to get better. That's just bottom line. And we've got 10 days off right now. I'm not saying they're going to make a change there, but there's going to be competition there. And the reason why is we're a good team. And this is, hey, you got to step your game up or next guy up. I'm not sure what you do with it. The one thing about Sundell, he could play anywhere. You could move him to guard if need be. I think it would have to be, who do we think are the 5 best offensive linemen? There are times that Bradford looks good. There are times he does. And then there's other times you go, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You can't have those mental breakdowns. So that wasn't quick, but I think in the next 10 days, you're going to find out what the Seahawks think.
Yeah, we'll see. Is Christian Haynes in the mix?
Yeah.
That's a name we don't sure.
Maybe.
Pick,
I mean,
right?
do you put Oluwatimi at center? You move Sundell to guard. I mean, that's why I said let's look at do they like Cable do at guard? I don't know if they want to put a rookie there. They're going to put the 5 best offensive linemen, and the nice thing is you've got some interchangeable parts there. Here would be the nicest thing. Bradford, just play better. Just figure it out. And it might be mental, right? I mean, there's times where I just go, wow, the guy was right in front of him. Did he slide the wrong way? Here's another thing. The guy just got by you. Don't chase him. Go block someone else. So, again, I don't think it's that far off, but we got to get better.
He does some of the strangest things I've ever seen an offensive lineman do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like turn and run towards the quarterback all of a sudden. What is that? Yeah. So
he's trying to butt block.
But, he also will crush people every once in a while. So
yeah, it's just that's the operative words there. Every once in a while. You got to.
Well, I would say it's more every once in a while.
That. Yeah, I would too, Dave. I would say more, but we got to get better. I mean, that's an excuse. I can't have you at 85. I got to have you at 98. His pass protection is not bad, and when he mauls somebody, he mauls somebody. But I got to get a 10% improvement from him for sure.
Yeah, Paul, we appreciate you, my friend. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk again next week.
I appreciate it. I'll be at the Dodger game. I am not leaving early tonight.
Okay, good. You got a hard time from some of the texters. Yeah, they were on you about that, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
At least you admitted it.
I'm embarrassed. Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
Thanks, Paul.
There you go. There's Paul Moyer with us each and every week. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks 50th season celebration game on October 5th. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. You can enter every day to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, September 29th. Meanwhile, there might be a specific reason why the Seahawks are so successful on the road under Mike Macdonald. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, live from T-Mobile Park, right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
How complete is this Mariner team right now?
You know, we have a story coming out on ESPN.com. I think it's tomorrow. First question, what's the boldest prediction you've heard from an MLB executive or scout? Passett, the Seattle Mariners are going to win the World Series. If you just objectively look at what the Mariners are doing right now, they've had the best offense in Major League Baseball in the month of September.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Look outside. Look at this sun shining. A beautiful day for Mariner baseball, and even more so a beautiful day to get out on that motorcycle for you riders out there. And a lot of you have checked in with me on the text line talking about your bikes and different rides you've taken. And some have talked about the accidents you've been in, and some have suffered injuries. And if you're one of those that's been injured in a motorcycle crash, and maybe you're talking to law firms, do yourself a favor. Don't settle for a firm that tells you that they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. You see them everywhere, and they've been a part of this writing community for nearly a quarter century nationwide, and they are there when you need them most. You get in an accident, you're looking for help and direction and support, and you need somebody on the other end to answer that phone. They are there 24/7, 365 days a year, because writers deserve real support when they need it most. And Law Tigers is the resource that writers can turn to when they're in need. Now, you see them everywhere, as I said. All the events supporting all the clubs and shops. You see the vans, you see the tents, the billboards. They are present in the writing community and always have been. They're always by your side. Your case evaluation, by the way, is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid, and they're going to help you get your gear and your bike repaired or replaced, because they know what that stuff means to you. So you're never riding alone with the Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Bump here for the Drive into Fall event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. The 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 HD are built to handle the toughest jobs with class-leading power, torque, and capability. And right now, qualified buyers can save big with $8,000 off MSRP. But hurry, this offer ends October 1st. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hazelwood has it! Oh!
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I'm joined by Tim Hunter, who underwent treatment in February. Tim, what's it like to go through the CyberKnife treatment?
Well, you go in, you do a 5-day-in-a-row stint. You go to the Swedish hospital, and it's they say set aside 45 minutes for each treatment. It's really only about 35 minutes of that little robotic arm dancing around you. There's no pain involved. It was just too easy.
Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
So the Seahawks have won 8 straight road games under Mike McDonald, and I think they're 9-1 overall with him on the road. So Leonard Williams, after the game, had a theory about why they've been so successful under Mike McDonald.
Road Warriors. I don't know. I think we have some type of mindset where we're like back against the wall. I think it kind of contributes as well to when we're in camp the last 2 years with Mike. We always have a road, joint camp. And when we're in those moments, it's like we come so close together as a team, I think, because it's like we're in a new city, we don't know anybody, we're practicing against another team. And I think that just kind of shows up on the road games.
Yeah, 9-1, I think, all time, because we went to New England last year and beat them. And then the one loss, anybody remember? Road game?
The place you've been 3 years in a row, the Lions?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, remember they had like 5 guys on their defense that were banged up, and they've done a really good job. And I don't know, Big Cat kind of describing, I always love going on the road. There's nothing like a road victory, man. Go in, it's like you go in and just kind of conquer.
Well, yeah,
conquer the city and then take all their riches and leave.
You pull their heart out. You let all the air out of the balloon.
Yeah.
Whatever cliche you want to throw at it, but it's good to overcome because you're outnumbered. You got an entire stadium against you, and you've got, obviously the opposition on the field, and to come away with a win in that setting, it's sort of galvanizing, I would imagine.
Sweeping the dial.
So that Zach Charbonnet touchdown run featured a nice little push, I guess an assist, if you will, from Charles Cross. And after the game, he described how that play came to be for him.
Just help the team. As an offense, we want to keep the ball moving forward, and that was a part of keeping the ball moving forward. So You know, Zach did a great job, you know, executing and running the ball. And, you know, once he got to where he was at, you know, I just had to finish it off.
And he did.
He kind of talks fast.
Yeah.
You expect a big old offensive lineman to talk a little slower than that.
To be like, I saw him there, and I went up behind him, and I shoved him into the end zone, and that's how it worked.
I loved it, man. You know, I also saw Sundell do that on a play on offense, and I think it was a pass play, actually, where he ran downfield and looking for extra work. And, if Cross doesn't get behind him there, Sharp's got stopped there. He got stacked up, and that's pretty rare to stack him up because he's a big, strong dude. See him walking around, like I saw him walking to the bus, and I'm like, who is that? It's like, it looks like he's like 6'3", 250 pounds, but Zach's a big dude. And then, you got Cross shoving you across the line. I mean, you got to love that from your offensive line. That just means that you're dialed in. When you make plays like that, it just means that you're
paying attention.
Yeah, and you know the offense, and you can go and make extra plays, right?
Yeah, and that extra play was huge.
Yeah.
With the way this game got close and the way it turned out. I mean, so that was, I don't think you can oversell how important that moment was.
Sweeping the dial.
Well, in his first 2 games back, Uchenna Nwosu kind of gradually worked back in. He played 16 snaps in week 2 against Pittsburgh, 20 snaps against New Orleans, and then all of a sudden, he played 57% of the snaps last night, 38 snaps, especially after Marcus Lawrence had to go out of the game. So afterwards, Uchenna was pretty honest, saying, you know what, I don't know if I'm in game shape yet.
I ain't gonna lie, I was gassed. I was gassed out there, man, but that just means when I get back to the facility, get on that incline treadmill, walk something, Stairmaster something, get my wind up. But no, I feel good. When it came down to it, I didn't care how tired I was. I was out there just trying to make plays, so. But definitely got to get some more running and conditioning in, yeah.
Well, that's honesty.
Well, and that's something you've talked about a lot, that, these guys, whether it's, going into preseason or whatever they're doing, coming back from an injury, and you see them and they're yoked and they're cut, and that guy's in tremendous shape. Well, that doesn't mean football shape.
Right.
And, there's the hitting portion of it that you got to get accustomed to again. But just what he's talking about, I'm sure he looks like he's in ridiculous shape standing next to anybody else, but the football shape just becomes a whole different conversation.
Yeah, I'm so glad that he's back. Leonard Williams had a sack and a half. They had 6 sacks total, but Nwosu got 2 of those. We interviewed him on the post-game show, me and Sylvie, and he comes over. First of all, he's huge, once again. Maybe it's, what am I, shrinking?
Are you shrinking? Are
Maybe
you
I'm
getting
shrinking.
smaller? Everybody seems big to you.
But I looked at him before the interview. I go, you're going to kill me for this. UCLA or USC? And he's like, man, come on, fight on. And because I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry, I never liked USC because they didn't recruit me. And he goes, I never liked UCLA because they never recruited me.
So he can relate to your hate.
But just good having him back, and he's a really good leader on that team. But I don't mind him being honest about that because again, it's not like he hasn't been working hard, like you said. That's the only way to get in shape for football is to go play football. But I remember looking at his stats in 2023. Well, not his stats, but the defensive stats. And it was like the first 6 or 7 games where they had him, they were averaging like 80 yards. Opponents were averaging like an average of 80 yards per game. Mm-hmm. And then when he got hurt, the rest of the way was like 125. So, I mean, he's so valuable. He's also one of those guys that, like, when he gets sacks, it's not like, I don't know, there's something about it that just looks very ordinary, but you know that he's doing something that's special, but it doesn't look super fancy.
It's not spinning. And,
it's kind of a power move, but he's also got some really good lateral quickness. So I like the combination of him. You put DeMarcus Lawrence in there as well, and then Moyer and Derek Hall. Remember the play he made on Kyler
a couple
Murray?
Big plays last night.
The Kyler Murray where he kept it was like a read option, and he tried to get outside, and D Hall, it was early on, he tripped him up. It was just a great tackle. So I feel really good about that edge position, but I don't know if there's ever going to be like one guy that's
right.
I think they're all going to kind of collectively.
Feels like it doesn't feel like there's
together.
a lead dog there, so to speak. Like it's a good collective group but there isn't that.
And they all have different traits.
Yeah.
I'd say Nwosu probably more like Derek Hall, a power guy, but
I just want him to be available.
That's
it's never been about him
frustrating.
playing like his talent. It's just, can he be there?
And Boye Mafe, by the way, starting to see some really good pass moves out of him, like big-time pass rush moves. So, yeah, we'll see if that just continues to get better and better as the year goes on.
Football Fridays, by the way, are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Coming up, we thought we had a runaway winner earlier in the week, but something else might have topped it. WHYMAN is coming your way next as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
It's been 24 years since
The 2001 Western Division champions.
Mariners Nation, you've earned this banner.
There's no better feeling than this. We work so hard each day.
With a first-round bye in the bag, what's ahead for the AL West champion Mariners in the postseason?
It's a lot of great things ahead. I can feel it.
SeattleSports.com has the latest on the scenarios.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
This is where you hear your AL West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been very fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years, and that type of longevity obviously is a very good thing, except 20 years plus in the same house means a lot of things start to break, and I'm not talking about the things that I break, but most recently it's been our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams and big listeners of the radio station, and better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington, and they're designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. And that means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. And because we celebrate the start of football season around here, I talked with the guys at Harley Exteriors, and they're offering no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, if you buy one window, you get the second one 40% off. And they also take another $200 off your entire project. So that's through the month of September, so you better hurry up. And to get a hold of them, call 833-HARLEY. That's 8333-HARLEY. Or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at ProSculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's ProSculpt.com.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game Sunday, October 5th. Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds. Do it every day, September 23rd through September 29th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper. What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Why Man of the Week.
It is time for WHYMAN, which is presented by Mazda of Everett. Last week we talked about this, and this was classic. WFAN hosts Evan Cohen and Tiki Barber were discussing their annoyance in the idea, the audacity of anybody entering Cal Raleigh's name into the MVP discussion debate with Aaron Judge. Here's what they said.
There is nothing personal between me and Cal Raleigh. He's just not the MVP. And I understand. Oh, he's a switch hitter. He's hit a lot of home runs. He's got a fat ass. Like, all of that's true and it's cool, but he's not the MVP. And I'm getting annoyed by this. I'm annoyed by the discourse because, quite frankly, it's not even close, Tiki.
No, it's not. I mean, especially when you go look at the bold. The bold is what you get when you go to Baseball Reference. There's a couple of bold with Cal Raleigh because he's hit 56 home runs and has 118 RBIs. But everything else is Aaron Judge.
Well, again, they're right on the offensive categories outside of home runs and RBI. The Judge does have them in OPS plus, on base, average, those things.
Our RBI is pretty important.
It's all important.
I mean,
it's all important. It all tells the story. But they're only looking at half of the story when it comes to Cal Raleigh, and what they are not acknowledging. The fact that the guy plays a premium position, which Aaron Judge does not. Okay?
Right.
He plays the most physically demanding position in all of baseball, and it's not even close. It's not close. And he's doing his first priority is not hitting. It's dealing with the rotation and getting that
right.
Whoever that starter is ready for that opposition. Here's the lineup we're facing. Here's this guy. Here's where he is hot. Here's where he's cold. Here's what we can do with him. Here's how we're going to attack him. All right, let's move on to number 2 in the lineup and work your way all the way through their lineup. And then he's got to work with the bullpen. And he's got to nurse these guys through tough innings. And, hey, this guy's splitter isn't working. This guy's slider isn't working. Whatever's not working, here's how we're going to have to get him through the inning. Here's how I'm going to call the game. So he's got a tremendous amount of responsibility in his everyday job that does not exist for Aaron Judge. End of story. So the fact that they didn't even acknowledge it, and I'm not going to be the guy that throws out the stupid, say, you don't know ball. It's such a moronic statement. But I will say you are showing a level of ignorance by not acknowledging that part of it and acting like he's got no business being in the conversation. It's just a moronic statement.
Well, I like what Paul said, too. I mean, you discount the switch hitting thing and the catcher. It's historical. Like Paul said, I mean, those, I don't know. Is it historical? Maybe it is for Aaron Judge with the OPS number. And, you look at his average. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing about it that seems historical to me. And to entirely discount, the other part of it it's just ridiculous. I'll say this, though. I mean, I think they're both really good people and really good for their team. No question about it. But as far as but what they do and everything that you just described is, and there's probably more than goes, hitting reports and, all the studying and all of the research and things that he has to do to get his pitchers ready. Man, it's ridiculous. So.
Well, and Cal carried this team through the first half. We talked about this offense was having a really hard time getting going. You had one guy who was hot in addition to him for a month or a few weeks. They cooled. I mean, Polanco came a house of fire in April. He was phenomenal. May, he fell off a cliff. It was horrible. Cal's been the one constant throughout the season. The guys have been hotter and colder, what have you, but he's been the constant.
Yeah.
And if not for him, we're not sitting in this position. We're just not. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. And the award is most valuable player, not best offensive player. Right. That award should go to Judge. He does have better numbers. He is a better all-around offensive player. That's the reality. But if you're talking about who's most valuable, would the Yankees be where they're at without Judge? I don't know. Maybe he is more valuable than we're giving him credit, but Cal just does more and means more to his team based on the position he plays.
I think we should send Charlie Furbush to New York and have him punch these guys in the face. What do you think, Charles?
I'd like to.
He's
I'd
got
like
the
to
lefty.
go with him.
He's got the lefty coming in with the southpaw.
All right, entry number 2. This is on Amazon's pregame show apparently last night. Richard Sherman took a little shot at Russell Wilson being carried by the Legion of Boom.
I think you got to judge his career off when the Legion of Boom was there. He had a legendary defense, an all-time defense, and how much success he had. And then without that legendary defense, the success he had. Without that legendary defense, he's been 4-11, 7-8. 0-3 to start with the Giants. He was a winning football player in Seattle, and people said, hey, winning is football player, all this good stuff, all these accolades, and now you get to go on your own and you get to prove, hey, I'm this great quarterback, I'm this guy that's going to be dominant, and it just hasn't worked out that way.
Yeah, I still, and I was listening to B. Walt and Stacy talk about this, and and I don't want to come off as ripping, I guess, Russell Wilson. The only thing I'll say about him is that he got too big for his britches. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of that came from his agent, that it was like, hey, you need to, it was less about being a teammate. And I don't think he was a bad teammate ever, but I don't know why Richard Sherman never liked him. I wonder if there's some stories that we don't really know about, but he was the one that really was the most outspoken, obviously, about Russell Wilson. And I mean, everything just came together, and now that you're trying to piece it, tear it apart and look like who gets this blame, who gets this credit, who gets this and that, it all worked together at the same time. But, I mean, if you have a legendary defense, I don't care who your quarterback is. He's going to do better. No question. I mean, and that was for 4 years. I mean, you look at the Chicago Bears, the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they had those kinds of numbers for a year or two, but not like the Seahawks for 4 years with the Legion of Boom.
No, I mean, it's a generational defense. There's no two ways around it. I would never dispute that. I guess I would just ask, how many touchdown passes did Sherman throw? How many times did Cam Chancellor scramble with the ball to keep a play alive? I mean, let's revisionist history is very convenient at times, and let's not minimize what that guy meant to the team.
Yeah.
I know he's a different guy. He the way he left was not good. He did get too big for his britches. All of that is true. And maybe they don't win without that defense. But on his side of the ball, you could argue they had bad O-lines, and he and Marshawn went a long way into covering that up and allowing them to have a line that could be subpar very often, and they were very efficient. Somebody was throwing that ball to Doug Baldwin. Somebody was throwing that ball to Tyler Lockett. Somebody was throwing – look, you can, again, feel how you want to feel about who he became as an individual, but – look at the numbers that he put up. Look at what he was able to do with this team. He's the greatest quarterback in the history of this franchise.
Well, I don't doubt that that the Legion of Boom made him better. But again, they would make any quarterback better because of the takeaways and everything and all the opportunities that they got. What were they, like plus 20 in turnover ratio? I think they had like 48 takeaways or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, that part is pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, I don't know why that went down with Richard Sherman. Why he didn't like Russell Wilson.
It seemed like there was always a sense, just from talking to some of those players in the locker room back then, that he was viewed as he can do no wrong, and anytime there was a mistake, it was always somebody else's fault. And you know what? A lot of that was true. I don't know if it was true with the coaching staff, but by some of the fans that hate Russell now are probably some of the same fans that would get uptight with me for being critical of him back then. I used to call him Seattle's little angel because you could never say a word about him in a negative way, like, that was a bad ball, you can't throw that. Well, there's a receiver's fault. That receiver should have done that. Oh, the line stinks. It was just like every excuse in the world except this guy made a mistake. It was foreboding. So, and I think it seemed like just some of the conversations back then, they got kind of tired of that being the narrative, that it was never his fault. He was infallible. It was always somebody else's fault.
Yeah, well, and that's, you're talking about texters and callers and media and stuff like that. I think a lot of the favoritism maybe came from Pete.
Yeah, it might have. Yeah.
I think that's where the most frustration was. I think that, perhaps Pete treated him a little bit differently, but you have to. You treat different players differently, and I think you treat you got to have the same standards for like the basic things, but like for the most part, like how you communicate with people, that's key. I mean, you can scream and yell at the Legion of Boom, but you can't do that to your quarterback.
All right, coming up, we got a lot to discuss about this Mariners team over the next hour, and Charlie Furbush is going to join us to break it all down as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
The legendary Al Michaels, exclusively with Brock and Salk.
Having him on now for a second time, truly amazing.
1995 in the Kingdom, the Yankees were in town. An 18-year-old kid had just been called up, and I interviewed him before the game, and his name was Alex Rodriguez. The memory that, of course, stands out for me in the Kingdom was doing the Bo Jackson run in 1987, when he ran up the tunnel and stopped in Tacoma.
Get the full conversation on the Seattle Sports app.
Well, a lot of you have heard Dave and I talking about our aches and pains and things that we've sort of accumulated over the years. A lot of you have checked in with your aches and pains and asking questions about, what we've been talking about with Dr. Mark Wagner and how effective is it really? And will it help this? Will it help that? I can tell you from my perspective, it is a game changer. It's Bob Stelton here. And if you're somebody that's facing surgery, before you make that decision, go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I did that. I'd heard all the testimonials. I'd heard Dave talking about it. So I went to see him. He took a look at all of my x-rays, the MRIs, and said, look, you got multiple things going on in that hip. I had a bad hip going, and he said, this is going to help. It's going to go a long way into helping. It's not going to cure everything. So I decided, it's either this or surgery. Let's give this a shot. 90-minute in and out procedure. I couldn't be happier that I did that because surgery is no longer part of the conversation. Dr. Wagner's a board-certified Seattle physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures using a person's own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in their own joints. So people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone-on-bone, are back to doing what they enjoy doing without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip like I had, it's a shoulder, a knee, an ankle, elbow, whatever you're dealing with, before you choose surgery, do what I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Just go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailalarm.com today.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling September 29th. Free Good to Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. Default terms at mintmobile.com.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Let's go! You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners get set for the final 3 games of the regular season. The LA Dodgers are in town for a 3-game series. The Mariners send George Kirby to the hill tonight in Game 1. You can catch it all right here, starting at 5:30 with a pregame show, 6:40 first pitch, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, one final on the day. The Cardinals just get it handed to them by the Cubs, 12-1. The final in that game. Some games going on right now. Phillies out to a 1-0 lead over the Twins in Philadelphia. That one in the top of the second. Bottom of the first in Washington. The White Sox jump on the Nationals early, 4-0. The score in that one. Yankees hosting the Orioles is about to get underway, as well as the Rays and Blue Jays in Toronto. One note from the NFL, the 49ers are going to get Brock Purdy back in the starting lineup when they face off against the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. He had missed the past 2 games because of a toe injury he suffered against the Seattle Seahawks. He practiced all 3 days this week, does not have an injury designation going into the game, so the path is clear for him to step back into that starting role against the Jags.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We are live at T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, and we got a lot to discuss as the Mariners get set for the final 3 games of the regular season. The L.A. Dodgers in town. Tons of media here. I thought it was for the Dodgers, but it turns out it's for this guy who's in the booth with us right now. Charlie Furbush joining us for his weekly conversation. Word got out that you were here, and media just swarmed, Charlie. So we'll do our best to keep the autograph hounds away.
Yeah, it's getting pretty thick out there. So
there is a lot of media here, but it's a lot of the Japanese media for Shohei Ohtani. So
do you like how we have it set up here? So we're like looking down at you.
Yeah, you know,
it's like this is why they put like the judge up in that big.
Exactly.
You know.
That's what it feels. I feel like I'm. You know, am I getting prosecuted right now?
We're going to scold you in a moment. We're going to scold you. You know, what was funny is I was looking on my Twitter page, and I'd put out a poll question. And this was on September 2nd, where they had lost to Tampa Bay. And I said, call it now. Do the Mariners make the playoffs? Somebody retweeted this to me today. 72% said no. And there was over 1,100 votes on it. 72% on September 2nd said no. And comments like, I truly dislike the front office. Dan has no business managing this team. Not only no, but hell no, blah, blah, blah. Nope, we've seen this movie before. First 2 acts are good. Third act sucks. You know, just one after another. Just, they're done. That's it. It's over. And here we are 24 days later. They are the number 2 seed. They've got a bye, and they are in the midst of a roll unlike any we've seen in recent years. If not for a bad night from Matt Brash, talking about an 18-game winning streak right now.
Right? That's insane, right? I mean, it's crazy, and I guess those 72% or whatever.
You think they're all saying right now, I believed in them the whole time. Told you they'd make it.
Of course not. No. It's look at it, right? I mean, when you look, if you're a Mariner fan and a lifelong fan, you know there's been some heartbreak along the way. And I think there are some people out there that maybe just expect it to happen because it's happened a few different times. But I feel this team is completely built different, and the move they made at the deadline, it completely changed the lineup, and now you're looking at a team that is arguably the most feared team going into October. So it's just remarkable how far they've come, and I think when you just look at the full season, you know, you start realizing that, you know, those wins in April and May are just as important, right? And trying to, you know, continue to put yourself in a good position, and then finally, we get to put another banner up here in right field. It's just, you know, it's amazing. So what a accomplishment by everyone involved. You know, front office, players, coaches, just tremendous stuff. And I know everyone that, you know, lives in this whole area, you know, not just Washington, all over this area is just super happy and proud to look at the Mariners and say, we won the West, and now we got a chance to do something we've never done and hopefully, you know, get to the World Series and win it.
Yeah, there's some concern that, you know, as far as the bye goes, that you lose some momentum or whatever. And we were talking about, I think the thing that makes up for that, though, is the adrenaline that you get from this crowd. I mean, you've been in a lot of different ballparks. How special is this home field advantage here?
It's humongous. It's an absolute game changer. And, you know, this place can get rocking and uncomfortable for any team that comes in, and it's just so fitting that, you know, they're going to be able to play on a weekend. So it's going to be, you know, everyone in Seattle is going to come out. They're going to be here early. It's going to be an incredible environment, and I think you've just seen it all year long how important these fans have been for the players, and they feed off it, and they realize that, as a squad, you've seen this. I've said this time and time again, all year. Like, there's a clutch gene with this team, and they continue to find ways late in the ball game. And when you look at their one-run record, it's just like this is why they are where they are. They're getting it done time and time again. It's like you got to kind of take it all with a grain of salt sometimes, because when you play this many games, you're going to have some bad days, even bad weeks. But, you overcome them, and you get to September, and you go, we're looking pretty good right now. And they just caught fire at the absolute perfect time. And in a sense, it's still on fire.
One of the things we've been talking about once they locked up that bye is you got 3 games left. You're going to have a week off, almost a week off, right? The next game will be next Saturday. So for those that are worried about breaking the momentum, it's going to be broken anyway, right? You got 6 days off. So with that in mind, would you, Charlie, if you're in charge, say, you know what? I got obviously Woo's banged up. He's not making that start. I got some tired arms in the bullpen. I got this guy's got a bulky knee. This guy's elbow's barking. This guy. Would you give these guys a break, or would you say no? We're pushing through these final 3 games, and then you're going to have that time off. How would you handle it?
So in regards to like this series going into next, yeah. So I think for all intents and purposes, let the hitters continue to play and get as many at-bats as they feel comfortable, because I would say the offensive side of things would be more of the, I think, glaring issue when you have a break, because then when hitters are on time and things are, feeling good, like you want to stay on that same like wavelength. And when you're not playing competitive games, there could be, that break could, affect the hitting. So I would expect you're going to see, all the starters in, and I, give Cal as many chances as he's comfortable to, do some more special things, and, really cement himself as the MVP. You let those hitters continue to play, but it's going to be kind of like last night. You'll see a bunch of subs, let the other guys get in. Because at the end of the day, these games, they don't mean anything, right? I mean, you locked up the second spot, and, there's a chance to maybe sneak in as the 1, but I think we all can agree that 2 spot and that side of that bracket's pretty good, right?
I'd rather have the 2.
But, imagine next week you'll have the pitchers want to stay on schedule, so you may even see some live BPs, so the hitters can see some live pitching and, even facing your own guys just to keep them in tune.
What about bullpen arms? Because you got a couple of guys there that have gone well beyond career highs in appearances and innings pitched, and they've been used a lot. Are there any arms you look at saying, you know what, I'd give that guy as much rest as possible?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, in all seriousness, like a Monday, Tuesday next week is like a don't throw day. Like, don't even throw. Just like rest, recover, maybe do some, arm care stuff inside, but, save the energy, save the bullets for when they count, when you need them. Because, you think from a pitching standpoint, for most of us, it's like, okay, if I took a couple days off and didn't throw, and then on that third day, knowing that now I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to kind of get back into it, that's plenty of time, because you're already like conditioned in that sense to throw. So, I don't think the break is going to be that much of an issue at the end of the day. And like you said, Dave, it's like the biggest game changer is the crowd here. It's like they're going to come in here, and it's the Mariners know exactly what they need to do, but having the crowd environment, it's a true game changer. And you could say the same thing about the Seahawks, right? Like when the crowd is there, it's an absolute force to be reckoned with, and it's reason why I think the Mariners continue to find ways to win.
I can't make a baseball comparison. It may be softball. Like when you hit a softball really hard, you look at it, you barely feel it. That's how hitting somebody with that kind of adrenaline, when you hit somebody, you don't even feel it. But I'm just wondering, like, especially for a pitcher, you got to kind of choke it down a little bit too, right? I mean, that too much adrenaline might get you sort of out of your groove, right, as a pitcher?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a test for some of these guys where it's their first time in the playoffs, like reacting to new feelings and understanding, okay, how do I react? Am I nervous? Am I anxious? Am I trying too hard? Or, is Is it just overall overwhelming for a brief moment where I need to catch it? But I think when you look at the squad, they've been really close and been in a lot of games and had some heartbreak even in the playoffs in the last couple of years. It's like, all right, well, I think that message and that experience is going to resonate with the younger guys that have never been there. It's like, okay, we now have some intel, right, of how this is going to go down and how people are going to be feeling. So, I think when you even couple that with Dan Wilson's experience as a player, it's like, yeah, like trying to just simplify the whole process and realize that you just got to do everything you can tonight to execute and get the job done, because it's just one game at a time like it always is, but it's going to be even more apparent to try and stay focused and win every night, now that we're in the playoffs.
As far as this series goes, how important is it? I mean, positioning is pretty much there. You're locked into the 2. I guess there's that remote chance at 1, but let's just say we're happy with 2.
Yeah.
But just in terms of psyche, because the Dodgers have been looked at as the big bad wolf the entire season. Whether they played that way or not is a different story, but they're the one with the big payroll. They're the one with Shohei and Mookie and Freddie Freeman and this ridiculous lineup and all of that. They're considered a standard. So if you lose the series, does that then say, oh, see, they can't compete with the big boys. They just beat the Rockies, but now you get a real team and you lose? Or does that any of that matter? If they beat them, if they take 2 of 3, does it say, hey, we just sent a message, we're on par with the big boys? How much importance do you put on this series?
Not that much at all, honestly. I mean, you got the 2 seed locked up, right? So I just don't see the major importance of the series at the end of the day, because unless everyone else strongly feels getting the 1 seed is more important, right? I mean, I guess there is an argument for that. I don't think anyone would be that mad at the end of the day if we had the 1 seed. You know what I mean? Right. We're the best team in the American League. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't think that the series means that much to either team, right? I mean, the Dodgers locked up 3 seed on the other side, so they're going to the wild card, and it'll be just like, I think, fine tuning your skills and getting ready as best you can to get into the playoffs. But I'd say another messaging is, whatever we're doing, guys, don't get hurt. Okay, you know what I mean? I think even last night you saw, I'm not going to run this out. I'm out, right? It's a ground out. There's no chance I'm going to, unless he throws it over the first baseman's head. But it's like, no need to push yourself right now when it doesn't really matter, And it's like, the last thing you need is somebody to have some sort of soft tissue injury and they're out for 2-3 weeks, and it's just, completely unfortunate. So, I don't know. What do you guys feel? Like, do you guys feel like they're that important?
I can see I guess I'm looking at it more about the conversation that would follow the series. Maybe not how they feel about it, but how maybe the national media, certainly fans, could be out there. See, they go up against a good team, and you got to send a message that we're there with the big boys. Kind of thing. It sounds
like the people that voted 78% that are talking that way.
It could be. Yeah, it could be. Could be our texters. I don't know. It's just, you never know. What if they meet up in the World Series? Does that linger at all? Let's say both these teams make it through their rounds and they meet in the World Series. Is there anything to look back on that 3-game series you just played and go, see, we planted the seed?
Yeah, I mean, I think the argument is maybe seeing a pitcher you haven't seen yet. I mean, that could be like a reliever that comes in. Oh, we want to see him. I want to see what it feels like. And even if you get beat, it's like now you have some intel going into the playoffs if you were to match up with them in the World Series. And it's a likely outcome, right? I mean, the Dodgers are legit. And, there's a very, it's not the easiest path for them, but they have a path to be there in the end. And, they've shown in the past they can do it. So, it'll be interesting to see how the series unfolds for sure.
In the American League, who going in besides the Mariners, obviously, I'm sure everybody's looking at them going, yeah, they've won 9 of their last 10. But who's a team that you think is going to be tough to face? I mean, you look at Toronto's only won 4 of their last 10. The Yankees are pretty hot right now. Mm-hmm. Cleveland Guardians are pretty hot. But right now in the American League, who do you think is the biggest challenge?
Another good question. It's hard not to look at the Yankees, just of where they're at, and I know they've also had a bunch of experience, right? So I think that's a team that is always going to be a force. And you know that when they're playing home games, it's going to be a tough road game if you're in town playing them. So I look at the Yankees. I look at, specifically even, Aaron Judge. He has not really performed well in the playoffs. So I would imagine that now that they're in the playoffs, he's going to really, I think, do a lot to not have a considered failure of a postseason appearance. So because he really hasn't looked good in his as of late postseason appearance. But he's one of the great players. So I still think the Yankees are a tough team. For whatever reason, I just feel like we got the Blue Jays number. I look at Kevin Gausman. I think he's their ace and he's legit, and then that would be the biggest challenge. But now that Barrios goes out, he's out with an elbow. They're looking a little thinner. So yeah,
no, that's Barrios.
Yeah,
Barrios.
Yeah, there you go. Dave, I can't roll my eyes.
Barrios.
Yeah. Oh,
lo siento, mi amigo.
Yeah, quit.
Yes.
Quit showing off. Hey, quickly, I want to get into this before the break. We've been talking about the Cal Raleigh thing and MVP and all that. Can we just revisit the majesty of number 60 quickly here?
I'd love that.
The chance of MVP. MVP, the stretch of the pitch to Cal. Swing and a drive deep to right field. There it is, number 60. The modern-day Bambino has just tied Babe Ruth's record of 60 home runs for third all-time in American League history. Cal Raleigh with his second home run of the ball game. 59 in the first, number 60. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning into the lower deck in right field. The magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues here in 2025.
Man, listen to that crowd in the background.
Holy
Just
smokes.
unreal. And then after the game, Dan Wilson saying he firmly believes that Cal Raleigh should win the MVP.
No doubt. When you look at how he has done it and the position that he plays, he's telling somebody earlier today that as a catcher, you come off the field at the end of the day, you're mentally and physically exhausted. And for him to do what he's done offensively and to do what he does behind the plate, it's just I honestly don't think we've seen this before, it's been incredible, and I think he deserves the MVP, no question.
I just don't think you can oversell how valuable he is beyond his offense and what his priorities as a catcher are, and you know that better than anybody. That his job number one is, all right, let's get in these meetings. Let's scout the opposition. All right, getting together with Charlie. Here's what number one, their leadoff hitter. He likes to do this. Here's how we're going to attack him. All right, let's move on to number 2 in the lineup. And working with the relievers and nursing these guys. Charlie's splitter's not working. I got to get him through this inning. And it's just a different world. It just is. And this is not Aaron Judge is phenomenal. He's on a Hall of Fame track. He is phenomenal, and he's having a great season. He can't say that about any other part of his game, whereas Cal can say, yeah, I don't have the OPS and the average and the on-base that you do. I've got the home runs and RBI, but I got this entire other half that you never even consider.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be taken into account. It has to.
It better be, right? I mean, as you're, listening to all this, I go, and maybe this is just me spitballing, but has anyone that has hit 60 home runs not won the MVP? Like, when you look at the minimal amount of people, right? And it'll be a very
I don't know. Sosa did it twice. Did he win it both times? I don't
know. It's in a way.
I have to go back and look.
You look at it that way, but
choose out of his mind too.
Yeah, I think I still think when you look at it from I think we're all obsessed over like the MVP, and you could make an argument that Judge deserves it, but in every other sense, I feel like the MVP is like a fully encompassing vote of like what you provide to your team, and ultimately, just the way the game's set up, catchers have that ability to kind of touch it on all sides, right? So, and when you're just playing one position that isn't a catcher, you're really kind of focused on your own thing. But there's nothing to take away from Aaron Judge. In my mind, you give Cal the MVP, and then you give Aaron Judge the Hank Aaron Award, the Offensive Player of the Year. It's like, in every sense, like that seems like the fair way of doing it, because Cal is doing things that no one has ever seen before, and that's where I think we're all just like in pure, just it's like jaw-dropping moments. Like, why? How is this happening? This is amazing, right? It's so fun, especially on the day that he hit 59 and 60. Aaron Judge, he hits 2 home runs himself, and you got the East Coast time change, and then what does Cal do? Comes out and, crushes 2 himself. And then last night, first pitch, he hit it any other part of the park. He hits another one.
3-4 feet shy of getting it out.
Which actually got me thinking. So I went on to StatCast, look a little deeper. I wanted to see how many you can kind of get in granular of all of his hits.
Yeah.
And how many. He's got 4 or 5 doubles that hit off the wall. So, we're also talking that there's even more home runs he could have hit, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the wrong place, the wrong time. One of them is actually against the Yankees here, against Max Fried, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he took him deep dead center, right next to the 401 sign. I'm like, okay, that's a home. And then you look, it's like a home run in, I don't know, 6 out of 30 parks. And, you can kind of look a little deeper. And it just goes to show you that he's getting so many opportunities and he's, not missing. And it's just so vital for the success of this team, and that's why I think he's the MVP.
Yeah, we'll certainly be talking more about that. A reminder that Football Fridays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. And also, you can watch high school football live tonight for the Seattle Sports Game of the Week, presented by STSPN. Our Week 4 matchup pits the Skyline Spartans against the Bothell Cougars tonight at 7 p.m. from Pop Keeney Stadium. You can watch the game exclusively on the Seattle Sports app, seattlesports.com, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page for full 2025 matchups. Visit seattlesports.com/high school. Meanwhile, the Mariners have a good problem to address when they start their first playoff series. We'll get into that as we continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Charlie Furbush in right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
The legendary Al Michaels, exclusively with Brock and Salk.
Having him on now for a second time, truly amazing.
1995 in the Kingdom, the Yankees were in town. An 18-year-old kid had just been called up, and I interviewed him before the game, and his name was Alex Rodriguez. The memory that, of course, stands out for me in the Kingdom was doing the Bo Jackson run in 1987 when he ran up the tunnel and stopped in Tacoma.
Get the full conversation on the Seattle Sports app.
Look outside. That sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball. A beautiful day to get out on that motorcycle for all of you riders out there. And I've interacted with some of you on the text line talking about the bikes you have, rides you've gone on. And some of you have talked about some of the injuries you've sustained in motorcycle accidents. And if you're one of those that's been injured in a motorcycle crash, you're talking to law firms, do not settle for a firm that tells you they're a motorcycle lawyer. Trust the ones who live it. You know who that is. That's Law Tigers. They've been a part of this riding community for nearly 25 years nationwide. And when you get into an accident, you're looking for guidance. You're looking for help and answers. You need somebody to answer that phone and be there when you need them. That's Law Tigers. They are there 24/7, 365 days a year because riders deserve real support when they need it most. You see them everywhere. See them out at all of the events, supporting all the clubs and shops, the tents, the vans. Law Tigers are very present in the riding community. They're always by your side. On top of that, your case evaluation is completely free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid, and they're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced because they know how important those things are to you. So you never ride alone with the Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers, Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
It's the Drive into Fall event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where you can save $8,000 off MSRP on all 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 HD. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-90.
800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Don't waste time trying to get rid of your old or broken car. Cars for Kids is the easiest and fastest way to donate your car and get a tax deduction. Go to carsforkids.org today. That's cars with a K.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob with Charlie Furbush in the booth with us. Taking you up to Mariners pregame coming up at 5:30. Their final 3 games of the regular season. The L.A. Dodgers in town series is sold out. Playoff games sold out in a matter of minutes. It's just amazing the appetite and excitement for this team right now. We got our guy Mike Lefko hovering around the dugout, annoying the daylights out of somebody to try to join us on the show. It might be Bryce Miller.
I like the word loitering better.
He's hovering.
You can get arrested for that.
He's out there. Hey, well,
loitering.
Would you guys like to join us on the show? We got, no, he's down
good.
there efforting. I believe Bryce is who his target is. So we'll see if we're able to get him to join us. He may break in at any moment, so we'll be ready for that. But
that's not quite as good as Adam Ray's imitation of Lefko.
Crushes it.
Bob's got a pretty good
crush. Mine turns into John Clayton. Adam's got. I can't figure out quite the difference, but Adam does it. He nails it. Mine kind of morphs into a John Clayton-esque Lefko.
That's okay.
And they're kind of similar in the way they spoke.
Professor.
But yeah, our late great friend John Clayton. Meanwhile, taking a look at this rotation, we're in a much different position than just a few weeks ago, where we were talking about the rotation and going, hey, if they're in this wild card series at that time, we were looking at 3 games, going, all right, who are your 3? And at that point, Charlie, we're going, well, it's Wu, and then who? Because everybody was struggling, right? We're going, you had Castillo was coming off a dreadful August. You had, short starts out of Kirby, short starts out of Logan. Miller is still working his way back from being hurt. It didn't feel right. You're like, I don't know who you put in there. Now it's the opposite. You've got 4 quality starts in a row from Castillo. His last one maybe his best start of the season. You got Wu. Hopefully he'll be healthy and all of that. Logan coming off good. Kirby, all these guys. Kirby goes tonight. Now it's like on the healthy side. Well, all right, which are your best? How would you, based on where we're at now, and we'll see what Kirby looks like tonight, how would you set up that rotation? Is it different than it would have been a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
I think so. With the Wu injury, you just don't want to put Wu when he's not 100% out there. So there's no sense in, risking anything just because, he's earned it, right? Every sense of it to really, be the game 1 starter. But now that he's in question, we'll remove him from the scenario. It's a no-brainer. Logan Gilbert is getting game 1, and just how well he pitches here, it's a no-brainer. And then you start thinking about the rest of the rotation and how it unfolds, and how to deploy these guys in the best way. I think you got to go. You can flip them either way, but I think you got to go Kirby Castillo or Castillo Kirby. Because I feel like the reason I go Kirby is that he's shown me he's continued to look really good, and I feel like when you put some adrenaline on the situation, I think you're going to see like a 98, 99 out of Kirby. Okay, he's bringing it, and I think that makes him even more effective. And you've seen a couple games this year where he's been lights out and just blowing hitters away. And I would imagine that you'd get that again. And, I look at Castillo and I go, I think your stuff plays up a little bit, but, you have this immense experience from a big league perspective. And I think that's where, you want to kind of rely on guys that have been there and can understand what it feels like and then, internally battle those things and overcome them if you need to. I feel like that would be a wise play. And it's nothing against Miller. I think Miller would be a perfect fit. But, is he, because he's never experienced it, does that weigh on their decisions? I don't know. But again, he's also looking very good throwing, when he's on, he can really dismantle a lineup too. So this is a great conversation, a great problem to have, right?
Yeah,
think about it, right? This is awesome. Like the fact that, it's not awesome with Wu, but it's like really nice to have this luxury of now, how do we figure this out? So yeah, I don't think it'll be that big of a decision at the end of the day. And then, I just think the way that it's going to unfold, if Brian Wu does happen to get healthy, then yeah, he's obviously the number 1 guy. But when I look at it, that's kind of what my gut's telling me, and it tells it, like, especially with not that there's any sort of injury concern with Miller, but because he has dealt with the most recent injury, right? Like he's the most recent one to get hurt. Giving him a break from having to throw the amount of pitches as a starter, does his stuff now play up out of the bullpen, right? And does he turn into, kind of this unheralded, weapon out of the bullpen that you didn't realize you had, and then you put him into the situation, and you're like, oh, okay, this dude's lights out right now, and, he's getting, the meat of the lineup out in the 7th inning when you need him, right? Some situation like that. It's always interesting how the playoff games unfold, and when a starter does move to the bullpen, how that transition can go. And sometimes it works out great. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day, Randy Johnson coming out of the bullpen, just like, uh-oh, wow, here we go. You're in for it. So when your guys are going good, you got to give them opportunities. So, and right now everything's working out. So it's just a matter of finding the right group of guys for whoever you end up playing. I think that's the other thing you look into is the matchup, and if there's any history of you facing this lineup before, that may swing a decision as well. So it's just going to be fun to watch how this unfolds. But it seems pretty obvious to me that Logan Gilbert's going to get the game 1 start here.
Yeah.
Just given the situation.
We always talk about how, just their management of pitchers is really good here, and that they err on the side of caution, but that's got to change a little bit, right? When you're down to the playoffs, and but not drastically, I guess, but a little bit more, right?
Yeah, you're not going to risk hurting someone, right? But
you don't want.
It is all hands on deck, and especially from the bullpen side of things. You saw a bunch of guys at the end of the, at this last few weeks go 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3, 4 out of 5, a really heavy workload. But when you're down there and you're sitting in that bullpen, you're like, I will go 100 out of 100 for this team. It doesn't matter. I think you get to a point where you've come so far and you're willing, and in a lot of ways, you're willing to sacrifice your entire, body for the sake of, helping your team win. And I'm sure you feel that way in football. It's like, all right, well, we're out here and we're just going to absolutely, sacrifice it all no matter what it takes, no matter how I'm feeling. I'm going to figure out a way to, dig deep and get it done.
That's what Dave does for this show.
Yeah. I'll come in here with a broken tooth or something like that.
Just power through a chipped tooth.
Yeah.
That's a different level of gamesmanship right there.
It's
a
called commitment.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
we love it, Dave.
That's passion.
So thank you.
It's playoff radio, man.
That's right.
Go.
It's the playoffs.
A lesser man would call in sick, but not
anything
Dave, by God.
for the team.
I'm jet-lagged right now, horribly.
But look who showed up, okay? All right. Hey, we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks' 50th season celebration game on October 5th. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, very easy. Just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776. We'll send you a link to download it. It's completely free. You can enter daily to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, September 29th. Meanwhile, we'll break down the playoff path for this Mariner team and the one team you wouldn't want to face. That's coming up next as we continue live with Wyman and Bob at T-Mobile Park. Charlie Furbush in with us. It's right here on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
It's been 24 years since
the 2001 Western Division champions.
Mariners Nation, you've earned this banner.
There's no better feeling than this. We work so hard each day.
With a first-round bye in the bag, what's ahead for the AL West champion Mariners in the postseason?
It's a lot of great things ahead. I can feel it.
SeattleSports.com has the latest on the scenarios.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
This is where you hear your AL West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here with Bob Stelton. And Bob, honesty and integrity is what really sets Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine apart. I've been working with Dr. Wagner for a couple of years now, and he was really straight with me. He told me my right knee needs replacement. I can't help you. So not all doctors will give it to you straight like that. But after hearing me talk about Dr. Wagner, you decided to go in and see him for yourself because you had a hip problem, right?
Yeah, you were very convincing.
Good.
I said, all right, fine, I'll go see him. And I heard all the testimonials, guys you had talked to that had gone through this process of stem cell therapy, and I went and met with him, and he gave me the same level of honesty when I was talking about my hip, where I had multiple issues going on. And he said, look, it's not going to cure everything, but this will go a long way into helping you. So I said, look, I don't want to go under the knife. If I don't have to, let's do this. 90-minute procedure, went in. And as the weeks went on, the months went on, it got better. And right now, surgery is not even in my mind. I can do all the things I was not able to do before this procedure, like lay on a couch and walk long distances, the crucial things in life, Dave.
That's right. Well, and why not, go see Dr. Wagner? Because, look, it's not going to hurt. That's for sure. And like I said before, he gives it to you straight. So whether it's a shoulder, hip like Bob had, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Molly Hatchet is bringing their iconic Southern Rock to the Event Center at Silver Reef Casino Resort on Saturday, September 27th. Prepare for an unforgettable night of hits like Flirtin' with Disaster and Gator Country. Mark your calendars for Saturday, September 27th. Tickets are on sale now and start at just $30. Don't miss your chance to see Molly Hatchet at Silver Reef Casino Resort. Get your tickets today at silverreefcasino.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. It's Mike Salk here. You can book now for an unforgettable experience. Let's talk about Hawks Peak. It is the place to be for game days this football season. With over 66 TVs, indoor-outdoor concept, the deck is covered and it's heated as well. And the food, oh man, it was excellent. All with breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. Yep, you can go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game Sunday, October 5th. Head to the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds. Do it every day, September 23rd through September 29th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. From the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob. We got Charlie Furbush in the booth with us. We're awaiting potentially Bryce Miller. Lefko is still hovering. He's still loitering around the dugout steps there, trying to catch him as they come out. There's a lot of people out there on the field right now.
Can we say creeping? Is that
you can say whatever you like? Yeah, he's creeping around the dugout, loitering. He's hovering, whatever. He's waiting for Bryce Miller. He's going to tackle him as soon as he walks out of the dugout.
I think we have a new word. We have a new word on the show. Creeping.
Yeah, so he's we may break into a conversation with Bryce Miller at any moment should he emerge from the clubhouse. In the meantime, any concerns, Charlie? I'll throw this to you, just in terms of the team. Like, man, this part of their game, this could be a problem. Or let me ask you this: were you most confident with the team? Were you sort of curious to see how it goes with the team?
I'm confident in every facet of his team right now. Like, look at the run they're on. How can you not be?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I look at the concern, and I'm like, the concern is the fans aren't loud enough?
No. That is the most certain thing about all of this.
Exactly. It's...
Well, maybe it's the week off. Do they come? Does it take them a beat to get going again? I don't know. I'm
probably the
searching.
biggest. I would say the biggest concern is Brian Wu. I mean, that's no doubt, right? I mean, because I think if he's ready to go and feeling good, then there's no doubt he's in. And that's where I'd say the biggest concern is the status of him. And obviously, you want to keep him healthy for the long term. But we'll just see if it unfolds in the CS or hopefully the DS, maybe into the championship series. That might be a better fit for him. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds, but I'm so confident in this team. It's so fun to watch right now. Everything they're doing, it's amazing. It's amazing. And I think that you look at this lineup, and this is a feared lineup, from top to bottom. I think you look at how I think some certain players have really made this lineup dangerous. You look at a Polanco, you look at JP, you look at Randy. These are, obviously not counting all the other horses in the lineup, but I think those are three guys that I think we looked at the beginning of the year and said, if this team is going to go anywhere, it's going to require this other part of the lineup to kind of show up, assuming we're always going to see this greatness of Julio and this incredible season from Cal, but. Then you throw in Naylor and Suarez, and you're just like, okay, this is a really tough lineup from top to bottom, and when they're playing well, they're hard to get out.
Josh Naylor told us that this is a hitter's park. Just looking at his numbers right now, in 25 home games at T-Mobile Park, this is from Mariner statistics. Josh Naylor is batting .356. 7 doubles, 22 RBIs, 19 runs, 11 stolen bases, and 6 walks. So pretty amazing, because he told us that, and we're like, well, and Bob said, you know that this is a pitcher's park. And, no, I don't think so. Well, he's proven it, man.
I thought he was kidding.
Yeah.
Well, some guys just, they see the ball better at certain stadiums. So although it may be an issue to Teoscar Hernandez, you look at Josh Naylor, and he's like, the ball looks like a balloon up there. I can just see everything. I think that's just the way it goes. And, from a pitching standpoint, I feel the same way. The backdrop, the way things look, there are certain stadiums that maybe would look further away, right, or the plate would look a little further away based on the backdrop and your depth perception of things. So for Naylor, it's probably like the opposite. Everything looks a little closer. I can pick up the ball out of his hand a lot easier. And, we've just seen it. You just read those numbers. It's incredible.
Yeah, I just have never heard anybody verbalize that about T-Mobile Park. We've seen guys that hit well here. I mean, certainly Mike Trout has had a fun time in this park over the years. But yeah, it's to hear somebody come in and say, "I think it's easy to hit here." This is what he told us. I think it's a hitter's part. I think it's easy to hit here, and it's true for him. I mean, his numbers bear it out. So. Just even more reason to lock that guy down. You just don't let him get away.
Well, it sounds like, in a lot of ways, he's like, I don't care where we're playing, because if I'm hitting well, it doesn't matter, right? If you're on, you can go wherever and you can hit baseball. So, but yeah, I think it just goes to show that, everyone's opinion of the park being a hitter's park or not is going to be a little different. I would say our Cal's probably feeling the same way. You're right. This is a pretty good hitter's park, Yeah,
yeah.
It's just funny how that unfolds, and there's a little narrative about it not being a hitter's park, and then suddenly now we are a hitter's park. It's kind of remarkable. I mean, look at last year, right? Oh, the pitchers are so good here. They're so amazing. Can't hit at all. Yeah. And now look at this year. It's just it's funny how the tides turn.
Yeah.
Well, what I think is so odd is that certain places, like the batter's eye here, because Teoscar Hernandez was saying it's like crooked, and actually we're you can kind of see what he's talking about.
It's angled, for sure.
Yeah, just a little bit, but it's just weird that like certain places, just what you see or whatever. Did you find that as a pitcher? There were just certain places where it was like you liked the backdrop or whatever. Just
100%.
Just weird.
Yeah, there was definitely a handful of places that I liked and didn't like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like for me, it was always like a depth perception thing where I felt like, the distance between the mound and the plate felt different from time to time. But then there were times where, like I remember going to pitch in San Francisco and I was like, I feel like I'm on top of these hitters. This is like, I would love to pitch here all the time. This is incredible. And you go to a place like Baltimore and I'm like, this mound is so flat and it looks like I'm throwing 75 feet, to the plate.
Yeah. All right, coming up, how does it feel to hit 60 home runs in a season? Well, we'll hear about that from Cal himself in the latest installment of the Cal Raleigh Show, plus your last chance to get your mean texts in at 866-979-3776. All of that coming your way next. It's Wyman and Bob right here, live from T-Mobile Park on your home for the AL West champion Seattle Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710.
It's been 24 years since
The 2001 Western Division champions.
Mariners Nation, you've earned this banner.
There's no better feeling than this. We work so hard each day.
With a first-round bye in the bag. What's ahead for the AL West champion Mariners in the postseason?
It's a lot of great things ahead. I can feel it.
SeattleSports.com has the latest on the scenarios.
We're not done yet. We got a World Series to go get.
This is where you hear your AL West champion Mariners in the playoffs. Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate, me and my family, to live in the same house for over 20 years, and that type of longevity obviously is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house, 20 years plus, that means a lot of stuff starts to break, and most recently it's been our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and they're big listeners at the station, but better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington, designed for Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. And because we celebrate the start of football season around here, I talked with the guys at Harley Exteriors, and they're offering up no interest and no payments for an entire year. Also, if you buy one window, you get the second one for 40% off. And also, they take another $200 off your entire project. So to get a hold of Harley Exteriors, call 833-HARLEY. That's 833-HARLEY. Or go to harleyexteriors.com.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
From the roof to the deck, the siding to the gutters, and energy-efficient windows, State Roofing and Exteriors is your one-stop shop for home protection. With over 55 years serving Western Washington, we don't just work here, we live here. We know what your home is up against when the cold sets in and the rain starts falling. Right now, we're making it easier than ever to get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. That bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Order the Pretzel Cheddar Club with Cherry Berry and Sprite for a limited time on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get back to it tonight. Game one of their final 3 games in the regular season. The LA Dodgers in town for a sold-out series. The Mariners send George Kirby to the hill tonight in game one. You can catch all of the action beginning at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here. Seattle Sports on 710. Taking a look at the rest of your scoreboard. One final today. Cubs hammer the Cardinals 12-1. Other games going on right now. Phillies up 2-0 on the Twins in the bottom of the 5th. Top of the 5th in Washington, the White Sox putting it on the Nationals 6-1, the score in that one. Meanwhile, in Boston, an important series between the Red Sox and Tigers. They are scoreless in the top of the 4th inning. Bottom of the 3rd in New York, Yankees out to a 4-3 lead over the Orioles. It's the Pirates up on the Braves 4-1. Top of the 3rd there. Top of the 3rd in Cleveland, another important series. Rangers beating the Guardians right now 4-2. Bottom of the 3rd, Marlins trailing the Mets 2-0. And top of the 4th in Toronto, the Blue Jays and Rays are knotted up at 2 apiece.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We continue live from T-Mobile Park. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710 as the Mariners get set for their matchup with the LA Dodgers. Coming up tonight, game one, as you missed the snapshot, George Kirby will take the hill in game one. So stay tuned for all of that. We'll turn you over to the pregame show coming up at 5:30. Meanwhile, and a reminder that Football Fridays are powered by the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. But right now it's time for the very latest installment of the Cal Raleigh Show.
Here's the line of the pitch to Cal, swinging a drive, way out of here to right field.
This is the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Goodbye, baseball. More history for Cal Raleigh.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians on Seattle Sports. Thursday afternoons all season long on Wyman and Bob.
Swung on and crushed. Number 40 is long gone.
It's the Honey Money Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, with Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
Cal, it's the last one, and I am thrilled that there is going to be more baseball, and we're not sitting here talking about what's going to happen in the off season this year. It has been a kind of strange last couple of days with all the celebrations and everything that has happened. And then last night, what I think in wildest dreams, and we haven't seen, just come up short, and you've had to play to the end, and there's been something on every game. Last night, a little bit different, and it was so great to see you guys with the pullovers on the bench a little bit later in the game. What was it like to go out there and, okay, we've locked down the 2 seed, we've taken care of the division, and things are going to change a little bit for a few games?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. We very excited. Like you said, it's been a crazy last few days, so a lot of running around, a lot of emotions, a lot of good feelings, and that's what you play for. So you're super excited about that, and to lock up home field there and getting that bye is huge. Is going to be very, we've seen it before. It's definitely an advantage. So, we're happy about it, and when we finish the season strong, 3 games, keep it rolling, and go from there.
Let's take it back to Tuesday night. You guys get here, and what really struck me is as the game was going on, you've had crowds this big here before, but it's just different in this situation. That was a playoff atmosphere. It was louder. You step up to the plate. You've already hit number 59, which was just absolutely insane. And 60, everybody is on their feet chanting MVP, MVP. How do you, I can't imagine that is something that you can even tune out at that point.
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, it's a feeling I don't know if I could describe, and never thought I would hear something like that. And a really cool moment, and to come through in that moment was a very special one. I think that one was maybe my favorite for sure. So, I get that all the time. People always ask me which one stands out, which one do you remember, and that'll probably be the one that I remember for sure.
You beat me to the question, because you could even tell you were smiling when you rounded the bases, and we don't usually see that right now. You're usually head down, get around the bases pretty quickly. You'll do your little things that you do at different stops of the way, but there was a joy. We could see that, we could feel it. You could feel it in the building. Why was that the one that has been your favorite?
I don't know. I think it was a culmination of everything. It was a culmination of, clinching the night before, and then on top of it, that night being able to get into being in a good spot of winning the division, and that's really, I think, what made it so great was, the culmination of, winning that division first time in 20-something years. Cherry on top of it, hitting number 60 is just like a ridiculous kind of crazy thing that can just get added on to everything to make it even that much cooler.
And your folks were in the crowd too, which is just so exciting. Well, what are the things that they said to you after that game?
They didn't have much to say. They're just speechless. So, my mom and dad and my uncle were here, and it was just great. It was a great night. I got to celebrate with close family, friends, and teammates, and people in this organization, and just what a night. It was great, and just winning that division just meant it meant a lot to this organization. So it was clinching was great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
On Tuesday. And then, but that on Wednesday was very, very extra special.
We've heard so much that you have to go through Houston to do this, and if you didn't do it, you'd still go on and you'd play in the postseason. But what made it special that it was? I mean, that was a big king of the mountain that you knocked off the mountaintop there, and that has been. It hasn't been we just want to get to the postseason. We want to do things in the postseason, and winning the division is important too.
Yeah, you have to. You have to go through the best if you want to be the best. So, they've owned this division for a long time now, and it's been a hard mountain to overcome, and they're still a good team. They're still in the hunt, and they're still out there. They're very good team. They know how to win. They're tough. They have experience, so they've been there before. So to do that, we knew it would come down to that eventually. Having to play those guys, and we went out there and we did well. We executed really well and performed and did what we took care of business. And from there, finished the job up this week. So.
17 out of 18 is pretty crazy, too, on top of everything else that you have done. Have you ever had a streak like that anywhere before?
I don't know. I don't know if it's... I mean, I look back, I think in 22, we had the 13 or 14 game win streak.
Yeah, I think so.
Right before the All-Star break.
Right.
That was a pretty crazy streak as well. This one, yeah, I mean, it's just, a lot of it is, based off of who's playing the best baseball at the right time. And, that's ultimately a lot of about what October baseball is and getting in and everything. And it's also, it's also a culmination of 162. You're going to go through runs, you're going to go through streaks, and, you want to be playing good baseball this time of year and finishing strong.
You guys had to get to that good baseball, though. I mean, everything that you just said, you've said throughout the year. You were not one to panic. There were ups and downs and there were roller coasters, and you have said exactly what you said at different times, but you guys did it. And it's not stunning that you got to that streak. It's stunning how quickly you got to that streak and how quickly you flipped that. And we've asked, what you guys did and what you've seen about the players around you. But my question now is, what are the things that Dan Wilson did that helped you guys get to the point to play the way that you have been day in and day out and flip it the way you did as quickly as you did?
Yeah, I think what Dan, brought to the table was a sense of calmness and a sense of, trust in the players. And I think when you're obviously always going to go through ups and downs. And, you're gonna be fighting every single day, but trusting the guys, and that's ultimately what it's about. And the numbers are great. Playing matchups. You pay attention to those things, but at the end of the day, it's about trusting your guys and trusting the guys in that lineup and being able to consistently, get a foundation and something that is doable every single day for a baseball team. And I think that's kind of what you found, especially in this streak. There's not been a lot of ups and downs. There's been a lot of consistency in the guys and the order, and it's all just starts about trusting those guys and getting that consistent playing. So it's I think that's what you've seen from Dan.
Did you see him? He's talked about you have to put the foot on the pedal and not let up right now. Have you seen him put the foot on the pedal while being that consistency, still turning it up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm proud of these, not just Dan, but these guys in the clubhouse. It's been a testament to, how hard they work, how consistent they work, what they're doing every single day, going out. And not only are you, winning games, but you're not satisfied. I look at the Houston series, for example, going out there and taking care of business, day 2 and day 3, after that first game, riding that high of getting that first one, big time Friday night game. And the guys could have, easily just, been happy with that and had a letdown. And then you go into game 3, tied up and it's a huge difference maker. So, we came out hungry game 2 and game 3. It makes a difference. Those games really do make a difference, and not being satisfied is definitely been a good kind of calling card for this team.
Yeah, that's going to be a great takeaway, isn't it? It's part of your DNA as a team right now that perhaps wasn't. Was that there yet last year, or the understanding of that?
Yeah, it's just, I think you learn from it, right? Understanding that the past couple of years, that satisfaction may have set in, or that eagerness, or that that want to of making sure we get it done today and not tomorrow, or understanding that we still got work to do, and we won today, great, but we still have a job to do tomorrow. And that's kind of what has kind of been put into this DNA of this team, and understanding that we have last 2 years fallen a little short, and that's what happens. You remember those things, and you don't forget stuff like that happens, and that's what kind of puts together where we're at right now.
And because you did all that, you got to celebrate If you need a second to think about it, I want a real answer here. What was the funniest or most surprising or just most joyous thing that you saw in one of those clubhouse celebrations the last couple of nights?
Oh, man. I don't know. Just seeing everybody's face is just, going around, knowing that you've been with these guys for months and months, every single day. Just seeing everybody's face and how happy they are, and just to see everybody kind of let their guard down and have a little fun and to really enjoy those moments are great. Getting the beer chug, the luge there going was great too. So that was a lot of fun.
There's a great picture of that going, and Andres is in the back, and his eyes are like this big. It looked like.
I know, right?
Also, who was like the champagne monster? Who do you think probably got more people with the spray of the champagne or the dump of the beer, or who was the absolute menace in that clubhouse?
I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like Luke Raley was following me around all night, pouring drinks on me all night. He just kept, it might have been like poking the bear kind of thing. So, but no, it was great. Everybody was having a great time, and you deserve that. So there's no better feeling than feeling that, ice cold beer and champagne going down your back. So
yeah, it was an absolute blast. What are you looking forward to in the playoffs?
That's what you play for. I'm really looking forward. I think number one, seeing this crowd is going to be amazing. Obviously probably will be a sellout, I'm guessing. So,
yes.
But I think number one, just really looking forward to that, and then really just being able to enjoy it. It's looking back. I've said this a couple times. Going back in 22, how fun that was, and how different it is. It's just different. I don't know how to describe it. So that atmosphere, and it's what you play for. So going out there and just letting it rip, and understanding that there's no stats on the line. There's no lull. It's everybody's. You're getting everybody's best effort every single night, and there's nothing more you could ask for. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. Doing it in front of these fans and doing it with the guys in this clubhouse. It's going to be very interesting. I'm very excited.
Cal, we're looking forward to it, and we really appreciate what you have done in sharing this year. Thank you so much.
I know. Signing off.
Maybe a little tear right here. Thanks, Cal.
There he is, Cal Raleigh, signing off. The Cal Raleigh Show, the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, is presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. And Mariners hosting the Dodgers tonight, game one of a 3-game series to wrap up the regular season. And the T-Mobile Park roof will be open, it appears. A lovely evening out for baseball. That's the Mariners Roof Report, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Let's do mean celebrities down there.
Yeah,
Everybody's here. Everybody's here. All right, is that it for the mean text? Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. I want to thank our guests today, Paul Moyer and Charlie Furbush. If you guys missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page. Just go to seattlesports.com, click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that. Anything you missed from any day of the show is waiting for you right there. You can click subscribe. Have a great weekend, everybody. Go Mariners. We'll talk to you on Monday right here with Wyman and Bob.
Watch live high school football. It's the Seattle Sports Game of the Week.
Going for it all. He's got a wide open man. Both touchdown Spartans.
Week 4 pits the Skyline Spartans against the Bothell Cougars. Tonight at 7 p.m. Live from Pop Key Stadium.
Pressure, and he's taken down.
Watch the game exclusively on the Seattle Sports app, Seattle Sports on YouTube, and seattlesports.com.
Comes up with a big INT.
See the full 2025 season schedule at seattlesports.com/high school.
Whether you're building a high-rise or hosting a family reunion, you need things to run smooth and clean. That's where Honey Bucket comes in. They deliver top-tier portable restrooms, hand-washing stations, storage containers, fencing, and much more for construction sites and special events of all sizes. Just ask Cal Raleigh, Big Dumper himself. He knows a clean setup when he sees one. Honey Bucket, local, trusted by pros, preferred by party planners. Call today or visit honeybucket.com.
Since time immemorial, the Puyallup Tribe of Indians have lived on what is now called Puget Sound. The Puyallup Tribe is a sovereign nation of more than 6,000 members and one of the largest employers in Pierce County. Today, the Puyallup Tribe continues to serve its members and community with generosity and is committed to building a sustainable way of life for future generations. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
It's the Drive Into Fall event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, where you can save $8,000 off MSRP on all 2025 Ram 2500 and 3500 HD. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
is Seattle